There we go. Okay, what's up? How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. CJ, what's up? Terrapin, what's up? The lighting on this is just having a field day with me today. So we're gonna fix it as we go here. That looks a little bit better. I look very, very white today. um Terrapin, welcome. Donovan, what's up? Breadcrumbs, what's up? How's it going? How's everyone's day today? How is it going? How's it going? Thanks for joining us on this lovely Tuesday today. You always look very, very white. Tara, quiet. Um, Breadcrumbs, yo, let's do this. Yo, let's do this. I'm so excited for this one. This is gonna be a very, very exciting one. Um, if I'm having issues with my mic today, every single thing that could possibly go wrong as far as mic, keyboard, everything has gone wrong today. So we're gonna hope that nothing else is going wrong today, because I'm getting tired of technology today. Even the printer went. Like everything that could make an issue today made an issue. So we're hoping that that's it. That's why it was a little bit of a later start today. But we're gonna roll on to positive vibes. It's gonna be a good stream. We're gonna stop it at that. We've got a great guest. It's we're gonna keep it all positive from now on. That's how we're gonna deal with this from now on. It's working great right now. Thank you, Breadcrumbs. That's what I like to hear. That's what we hope it stays like for the rest of the stream. So a couple things. First off, I need to set up the chat command here in Streamlabs. But while I do, where's your Bren merch, Kyle? I don't know. Maybe it's right there. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been waiting for some Bren merch too. We all need some Bren hats. I think we all do. Maybe we'll have to do like a big giveaway for a bunch of Bren hats. I think that might be the plan here, Donovan. Um, but fun things that have happened in my life this past week. I got my first dose of for vaccination for COVID-19 things. And about 30 seconds after I had my shot, I went to sleep, passed out completely. And 30 seconds later, woke up in a stranger's arms. So that was fun, uh, and a little scary. Yeah. Oh, let's go. You can't hear it. I just realized that you cannot hear it, but thank you for the sub tier one there, Chad RCJ. Appreciate it, buddy. Um, we're gonna have to figure that one out. We're gonna have to figure out why I can't hear the sounds there. Me watching those. Hello, babe. How's it going? And mom, so excited to see Travis James was on Lindsay. Arnott's IG account yesterday. Yes, he was. Um, he's been doing his rounds recently, um, of all the Vancouverites, if you will. We're very excited to be on here. You might not, you got yours on Thursday. I'm so nervous that might happen to me. I'm not good with needles. I would say if you can, lay down. Also eat and drink something before you go. I made that mistake. I did not eat. I woke up. I went to get my vaccination. I did not eat anything. Biggest mistake I could have made. Don't. No. Lindsay's your art teacher. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay, so it's a small little world we live in, eh? Um, let's see here. I still haven't set up the thing here. Let's pop that up. Oh, let's go. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate that. Let's go. That sub over to Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, welcome to being a best bud. We appreciate that. Let's see here. Where is the queue? There's the queue. Okay. Oh, I already had it open. Well, okay. Well, we're opening it and then closing, or closing it then opening it. How things go here. So over here, where are we? The fucking bread. Where was that? So we had the famous boom shot. We got some big things coming. As you guys probably saw the intro, if you guys were just here, the intro is brand new. Tell me how you like it. Like if you guys like it, awesome. If you don't, well, maybe I'll have to change it. um, how come I'm not a best friend? I'm pretty sure you are a best bud already, Mom. Also, welcome, Mom, to the stream. I forgot to say hi to you when earlier just because you kind of threw in the thing with Lindsay. But yeah, welcome everyone to the stream. We're so glad you guys are here. We have a really good one, like I said. Today's guest is the first ever musician that we've had on the stream. Our guest is a Vancouver musician who has found success on TikTok, blown up, huge. He has had a mission to sing to every single person in his city by the end of the summer. We hope to support that mission a little bit today, but however, we also hope to ask him deep questions and to get to know where he come from and how he sees life. So please help me in welcoming Travis James to the conversation. Hello. How are you?
Hey, good. I'm here now. This is awesome.
Good. Yes.
I love the little intro. That's I was taking notes on how you address your following. Is good, man. It's good.
Sure. Hey man, I've seen your live stream. I don't think you need any support. I think you got this. You've been killing
No,
it.
man. Thanks, dude. Well, it's good. It is good to watch like other people and how they address their brand and they bring people into their world, and it's just good to see because I think everyone does it a little differently, and yeah, I'm definitely I love to be a student. I love to watch people and figure out
Sure.
what they do best. So
Well, from what I've seen from your Instagram and stuff like that, I think you've done it really well in how you are learning how things go and how things work. Watching kind of your live streams, how you interact with people and how you understand kind of how people I don't know if tech would be the word, but kind of just how people what people like in that kind of sense. And I think as far as your TikTok video, I watched it probably I think 2 weeks ago, and I think I got like 5 seconds to the end of the video. I was like, I love this guy already, and I messaged you on there. I was like, hey, I think it would be perfect if we could work together. Love how you're a Vancouver guy too, and that just makes it that much better. And sure enough, we made it all come together, and so I'm very happy we did, and I'm very excited. It's probably one of the most excited episodes I've been for so far. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how this one goes. We are gonna go into two truths, one lie. Are you all ready for those?
okay, I am.
Okay, so we have so as you guys know, we have two truths, one lie. I have a terrible record. I don't know if you know this, Travis, but I have a terrible record of
Wait,
anything.
so
Yeah,
am I asking you and you're gonna answer, or are we giving it to the people?
we're gonna give it to everyone first, and then I will guess, and then you will
Okay,
let us know.
okay,
Yeah. So if you want to
okay. Let
start,
me
go
let
for
me
it. Yeah,
yeah, let me pull them up.
sounds
Hold
good.
on.
So I have, like I was saying, I have a terrible record, like terrible. I'm like I think 2-8 or 2-7 or something like that. It's been,
Yeah.
it's been bad. Chat knows I'm not the best with this game, unfortunately. So I've been having some struggles in the last couple episodes here. So I'm hoping to beat you here on this one and finally be able to run the success screen that we've made for this, but it hasn't been looking too pretty for me recently.
Okay.
2-8, I
All
know, break. All right, let's go. Let's run it.
okay, let's run it. Okay, well, okay, so my three are I can hold my breath for 3 minutes.
Okay.
Um, I've talked to or I've met more people in my city than anybody else, and I can play the violin.
Ooh, okay. These are good ones because sorry, I'm just writing them down here. Okay, so we have breathe for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah,
We have you've met more people in your city than anyone else.
yeah.
Okay, is that self-proclaimed or is that like we have like
Do we
um
have proof of it?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's proof of it, but
Okay,
it's
okay,
definitely self-proclaimed. Yeah,
okay, okay. Let's go. And then we have that you can play the violin.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get Donovan, if you can run a poll for me, so we can get the chat to see what they think is on there, so everyone can kind of throw in their guesses as well. Um, chat's just booming here. I was in Travis's live yesterday, singing him
Oh,
singing
that's
with a woman
nice.
painting. It was awesome. Y'all
Yeah.
gotta go figure this. Yeah, you do gotta go follow his TikTok if you're not already. It's super wholesome. I agree. Exclamation mark
Chad, thank
guest
you.
will get you there as CJ threw in the link there. Yeah, no, you guys definitely got to go see Travis's stuff. It all of it's amazing, really. There's nothing on there that I've seen that I haven't been impressed by, and very spectacular how he serenades guests or people on in Vancouver. Um, so the poll is live. If you guys can go hit up what you guys think is live. So number one, we have breathe, being able to breathe for 3 minutes underwater.
Hold my breath.
Hold your breath.
Hold my
Sorry,
breath. I mean,
hold your breath for 3 minutes. Okay, that's yeah,
I don't know if
that's
I can breathe for that one. That might be the lie. If I
I
can
mean,
breathe for
3 minutes, yeah. That you've met the
no,
most
no,
people in your
I'm not.
city.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm butchering this. And then you can play the violin. What's it called? Maybe I should add a thing here. Can you play the violin well? Is that part of the thing, or is it just play the violin, period?
I don't know how is the point to try to come up with questions that toe the line a bit, or I was trying to think of things that were toeing the line so that there wasn't an
Okay,
obvious one,
okay,
but
okay. So let's go. So I maybe
let's leave it up.
okay, sure. Don't give it to me. That's okay. Let's go. I think that's good. I think the fact of not knowing might be a little better, maybe a little bit. So we have a complete tie. So I need someone to break these ties here on this poll here. We got one on each. So we need someone
Oh
to
man.
let us know what the lie will be. Which so if you guys throw in the poll, what you guys think? I've got a few more minutes left on that. So this is my thinking right now. Is I got the breathe for 3 minutes. I mean, it would be impressive, but it's not like so far out that it wouldn't be possible. Like, I mean, hmm. And then the meet the most people in the city. I know that's your goal. But I don't know if that's or meet more people than anyone else in your city. I think that's pretty. It's probably you're probably pretty close. I don't know as far as how it would be proclaimed. So that's why I'm kind of like, like. I mean, if I see a Guinness World Records, I may be like sold. And then you have the violin. See, the violin, from what I've heard, is a very hard instrument to learn. Which I'm like, but I wouldn't put it past you because you are also a musician. So I'm like, exactly. It was like Alyssa said in the chat, he's already a musician, so he might be able to exactly. And if CJ can play the violin, then I don't know. Let's go. If he can do that, yikes. That's not giving him much credit. um, let's go. You can't convince me that this guy knows how to play the violin. Okay, so I think most people are saying the violin might be it, and I see that's also the highest bid in the poll. If you guys can throw it in the poll, that might be maybe the one I go with. Is the thing he can play the violin. Okay, so Mom's saying he can play the violin. So what's your guess, Mom? What's Mama Lisa? What's your
Well, I think
guess?
it kind of comes down to mom. I think mom might be the
Yeah,
one who has the final say.
yeah. You always gotta listen to Mom, right?
Yeah.
um, what is your guess, Mom? Yeah, did you? I don't know if you did on the poll already, but I'm kind of interested to see what
Oh,
you
they
what you
have the
think.
poll. That's funny.
Yeah, so let's go. So everyone, the chat did say that the violin was the cap, but the mom thinks that you lied about the breathing for 3 minutes. Hmm. Because see, in the past, what we've had is guests that have tweaked, like you kind of did as well. You said they've kind of tweaked it, so they haven't given you all the information. So there's a little bit of a lie, maybe there's a little bit of truth to it. So that's the thing is maybe you can hold your breath for a long time, but maybe it's like only 2 minutes, but maybe it's not like 3 minutes.
Right.
So
Like, where's the line, right?
right, so I don't know. You got a point there. That might be hmm. Um, let's see here. Let's. I'm thinking. I mm, this is a tough one because I know he lied about the people of Vancouver. Hmm. Okay, so mom, you think that he's lying about how that he's met the most people in Vancouver? See, the thing is, I wouldn't put it past him though. Um, because if you've watched his TikTok journey, and if you guys already haven't already, exclamation mark guess, and you will see what I mean. Um, he it just you can scroll for days on all the videos of people that he has met. So um, I'm gonna go with Chad on this one. I am going to go in the chat with this one. I'm probably going to regret it because I think, like you said, Mama might be always right. But I'm going to say the violin is the lie. So please tell us which one is the lie.
So, me meeting the most people in Vancouver is not the lie.
Oh, okay.
Because it's self-proclaimed, but I would fight stats on it too. That I've met a lot of people in the city just by doing what I do. Uh, the ability to hold my breath for 3 minutes is also not a lie. I couldn't do it all the time, but I've done my record. Like I learned this David Blaine breathing technique
Yeah,
on
yeah,
how to
yeah.
like hold it, and the most I got was like 310. I wouldn't
Okay.
be able to do it on the spot, but it definitely it happened. So I figured it's not a lie if you've done it once, right?
It's true. That's exactly
And
true.
I have never touched a violin in my
Yo,
life.
so I think that's for a success. I think we got to run it. Let's go. That was
Yeah,
a
I think
huge
so,
success. Let's
right?
go. Big success. That's a first one. So that update the stats. Someone update the stats. That's what I think 3-9 or 3-8, something like that. But yeah, let's go. That's a first one we've been able to actually see.
Hey.
Terrapin, I told you I'm always right. Let's go, Chad. Thank you for helping me out on that one. See, I almost flipped it up and I almost said breathing, but I have also seen that David Blaine video that I think you're talking about, where he talks about like how the breathing techniques and stuff like that. And yeah, we don't want you passing out
Yeah.
on stream here.
No,
So
I was worried that you were gonna be like when I put that down. I was worried that then the next thing was gonna be everyone like, do it, do it, and
no,
I
no.
passed out in my chair.
Which actually leads us to a perfect kind of intro to you and kind of just a side note for you. I want to remind you that all these questions are up for your comfort to answer. If you prefer
Okay.
not to answer any questions, feel free to let me know and I will stop asking immediately. There's no problem with that at all.
Okay.
I don't want you to feel uncomfortable during any part of this. In addition to that, if you have any questions for me at any part of the stream, feel free to ask them at any time.
Sure.
That's good. All right. So we are going to go into speed round. So we're just kind of list off some things quickly.
Okay.
I'm
All
proud of you,
right.
chat. very proud of you guys. What's good? You guys had me on that one. Bye, Lisa. Have fun at work. We love you too. Let's see here. All right. Thank you for the love, CJ. Appreciate it. If you guys can too, we also just got to hit affiliate. Go hit that. Use your allowance in the chat there, and you can spread that love. Um, so as far as the speed round, we've gotten more questions since our last episode, which is what the first time we actually ran speed run, or the speed round, I should say. We got to come up with a better name for it. I think speed round isn't even the best name. I think we got to come up with that. There's some creative people in here. I'm not too worried with how we can. I'm sure we'll come up with something very smart here very soon. So how speed run works? I'm going to give you kind of. It's mostly based off of your favorite items, and you'll just kind of answer as
Okay.
fast as you can.
Okay.
So, starting with question one, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Oh,
Yeah,
favorite
definitely.
food?
Gonna have to go with sushi.
Sushi.
But can I
Okay,
give you a quick reason why?
of course.
Because it might not be my like favorite tasting food, but it's the food that whenever I want it, it's always been long enough since I had it last. So it's like whenever I'm going, what should I order or what should I eat? And sushi comes to my mind, it's always the like it's always been enough time since it
Like,
came to my mind last, you know? So that's why
I
it's always my
totally get it.
favorite. Because I've never ordered it and been like, I've had too much sushi lately.
It's like
Right? Like
perfect.
burgers, you can have like two or three in a row, and then you're like, or like pizza, it's great.
Totally.
But then the next day, someone orders it, and you're like, I just had it. But sushi, it's like there's always that period since you've had it, so it's never like, sushi again. It's always like, oh, that's what I need, you know?
Okay, yeah, and I definitely hear where you're coming from. What's your favorite drink?
I'm gonna have to go with orange juice, definitely.
Oh, okay, a good breakfast combo here. What's your favorite?
Yeah,
What's your favorite number?
5.
Oh, me too. No
Is
way.
it?
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I got a question about that in a second. What's your favorite movie?
Okay. Favorite movie? Almost Famous.
Okay. Who's your favorite influencer?
Influencer, just musician, or
Can
what's
be
the
anything. Anything.
anything?
Yeah, it can be a musician
Uh,
though.
I don't know if I can pick because it's like I feel like there's people in different categories
Totally.
of it's like I don't know if I could pick one.
You can list a
But
couple if
I
you'd like.
really let's go Mike Posner right now because he's pushing the barriers on what it's like to be a musician and not have to have such boundaries on it. So I got to go with Mike on that
That's
one right
good.
now. Yeah.
What's your favorite vacation that you've ever taken?
Favorite vacation? Gotta say Hawaii.
Oh, a good one. Our one of our
It's just
mods, Bartley, is from Hawaii originally and talks
shout
about it
out to
all
Hawaii.
the time. Right?
It's the best place in the world. It's got
Right.
everything you need.
I got more questions about that after, but what's your favorite
All
animal?
right. Uh, gotta go with grizzly bear.
Ooh, okay. Favorite season?
Um, fall.
Oh, ooh, okay. And what's your favorite way to spend spare time?
Probably running.
Okay. All right. So that is the
Yeah.
speed round. We're
Okay,
gonna
it
go.
wasn't that quick. I wasn't
It's
that
okay. It's
fast.
all
I,
good.
I had to like cut some of those questions. You gotta like take a second and
It's all right. It's all good. It's just to get you warmed up for those deep questions that we're about to hit later in this episode. So it's
okay,
all
fair
good.
enough.
It's no worries at all. It's more to kind of get you like relax and get kind of get an
Okay,
eye for what things
yeah,
are, for the chat to
I
kind of
love it.
see, kind of get to know you a little bit too. So first off, the favorite number, it's number five. I'm very interested. Where does number five? How did it become your favorite number for you?
I think as a kid, when someone would say pick a number between 1 and 10, I always, if I could get five first, I loved it because it just gave me the most advantage because you're
Okay.
50-50.
So you're saying
And I
is
think I just
you would be very indecisive, is what you're telling me.
yeah, it felt like a success thing, and eventually it was like, well, whenever then later on people are like, hey, what number you want to be? I just would always pick five, and then
Right.
just became my favorite. Yeah.
Let's see here. What is chat saying here? Chat saying that they sushi is the best in Vancouver. Mom, I totally agree here. Quick questions. Quick
Yep.
questions, a good one. Sure. Maybe that's what we need to change it to. Is quick questions. I like that. I like that little roll on there. I'll write that down. But maybe if you
That
can
I
have
like
that in
it too.
notes.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
Breadcrumbs literally said, I legit just said sushi out loud before he said, right? Sushi, like you're totally right. I think sushi, it's that perfect kind of thing of where like it's not something you almost crave, but like once you do, it's been like the perfect amount of time where you're like, yeah, I haven't in like a couple weeks or like a couple months, and it's
Always.
just like it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, it do be good, CJ. It do be. Let's see here. I think this is favorite. Almost Famous is icon. I don't think I've ever seen Almost Famous. I might have to write that down as something I need to see.
And what I watched it recently because it had been a little while, and
Yeah.
like with your favorite movies, you don't want to ruin it because too much time's gone on, and the like the movie gets outdated. So I took a risk because it's always been my favorite, and it stood the test of time. It was honestly better rewatching it this year,
Oh,
um, after not watching it for so long. And I think that's like any movie I watch now that I like just as much, then I know that it really does stand the test of time. Because
totally
there's a lot
right.
of movies you watch later and you're like, like the cinematography is a little bit off, or like the music's a little too orchestral. And there's a lot of movies I've rewatched that they didn't hold up to when I was a kid. But that one
You know what that
definitely fucks.
totally remind me is that the Toy Story. If you ever watch Toy Story 1 back, the
Mm.
graphics on that are like terrible. And like you never notice it as a kid because you're just so like, oh, it's Toy Story, like it's the best movie ever, like whatever. And going back to Toy Story, it's very like it seems so strange because then you watch Toy Story 2 and 3 and it's totally like it's just totally way better animation. It's one of those things that when you said like if it stands the test of time, it's kind of like great. It's funny because Toy Story, of course, does stand the test of time, but it's weird to go
Mm.
watch the graphics crazily improved from like what I think
Mm.
2019 the last one came out or 2018 to like I think
Right.
2000. I
Yeah.
just had a notification pop up. I have not ever heard that happen before. That was very weird. Um, Okay, and then you said is oh my goodness, so everything's going off on my desktop. I'm so sorry. You guys are probably hearing noises that you do not need to hear. I'm so sorry. Um, I'll figure that out as soon as I can. And then what else we got in here in chat? We got where is the Hawaiian boy? I know Donovan. Where's Bardley? I texted him late last night and he was still up, so I think that might be why. Um, that is a good question, Mom. We will ask that in just a sec. As far as that, um, thank you all for thank you for the love there too, Donovan. Appreciate it. Um, we and then you said Hawaii. Hawaii. Which you so you've been to Hawaii as a vacation as you put. What
Mm.
is your what was the island you went to?
Well, I went to Maui
Okay.
and Waikiki and the Big Island. I don't know what that one's called, but the Big
I think
Island.
it's just a
Yeah,
big island, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, I think that's different than yeah. I think that there. I went to three islands,
Okay.
um, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it's just a nice place to go. It's warm, but it's not deadly hot. At least when we went, and I
Sure.
I think that's kind of like trick. If you go somewhere that's so hot you can't do anything, all you can do is really lie on the beach. So I don't mind going somewhere when it's like, especially if it's a hot place like Hawaii where it's hot all year round. I don't mind going a little bit, later on in the year because I feel like you actually get the best
Right?
climate.
It's almost like the best of both, where like you get like the nice weather, but it's not too hot. Where like the Canadian kids are
Yeah,
dying.
you can't do anything, right? When it's
Right.
so hot, you just can't. You're doing is you're stuck to the beach. But when it's a little cool, you can go for runs. You can, go out and about, and you're not dying from heat exhaustion. So yeah,
Sure.
10 stars for Hawaii.
Sounds good. What's so just so you know, I know you are fairly new and you're kind of learning Twitch as well, and you've had a lot of questions.
Yeah,
You've been a great student, by the way, is because I know you said
thank you.
you're interested in being kind of learning from stuff. So we have what is called kind of the channel redemptions. We call them allowance on this channel. Every creator can change their
Okay.
name to what they want, but Terrapin has redeemed a posture check. So for both of us, is we need to just check our posture, make sure that we're sitting up. It's just one of the redemptions. So make sure you're checking your
All right.
posture.
All
Um,
right. Fair enough.
there is one too. Just so I should have warned you from the beginning. Do you have water around you or anything?
I do. Yeah, I got a
Perfect.
water.
We do have a thing that is a hydrate. So if they do ask us to hydrate, I will ask you to hydrate as well. But that will be
Oh,
when someone
that's
redeems it.
that's dope. So they take care of you.
They do exactly. They're like
Whoa,
see, I have my mom already in here, but it's like we have like 15, 20 more moms in here as well. It's great.
that's awesome. I feel loved.
Right? Exactly. It's all love in here. It's all love.
Yeah.
Um, you said this. You spent your spare time, and what did you say you spent your spare time doing? I'm totally blanking on it. I'm so sorry.
Running. I
Running.
said running. Yeah.
That interests me. So are you someone who likes running quite a bit then?
I have ever since I was a kid. I was never like a fast sprinter, but I
Okay.
always loved long distance. I felt like yeah, there's something about going for a long period where you start to disconnect from the world, but it doesn't happen right away. It's usually like 20 or 30 minutes into the run where you start to really find uh your connection to your body and it all becomes like focusing on step after step. Like when you first start running, there's all these thoughts in your mind of all these things, and then eventually it just becomes everything kind of slowly dissipates and it's just by the end of it you're just thinking about each step. And when I get to that place, I know that I've kind of checked out and then checked in.
Sure.
So,
I love that. That's awesome. Thank
yeah.
you, Tara, for the send love. We appreciate that. The yeah, no, like see, every time I start and run, I have terrible knees. I've talked about this a lot on this stream.
Okay.
I tried starting running earlier, or sorry, I guess last year would have been now, and I
Mm.
destroyed my knees again. And so it's been something I have never been able to do, but it's something I'm very jealous of you if what's it called of being able to run and definitely find that kind of connectivity to your body. I think that's awesome.
Mm.
Um, and so let's go. I do have a question here, just because Mom Lee said, "Mom, you can also use
Yeah.
the channel redemption points to be able to ask us questions too as well." There is a
Oh
question
wow.
for that as well.
All right.
We actually have a couple questions here too. So I'm gonna go off of CJ's, and then I will ask my mom's just because she put it in chat here. And I mean, I'm not gonna be rude to my mom.
Yeah.
um,
Good boy.
CJ asked me 11 minutes ago, "What deodorant do I use?" I use
So
Old Spice cracking guard, I'm pretty sure.
hey, me too. I'm a Old Spice guy.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's go? And mom asks, was Travis born and raised in Vancouver or a suburb?
Yeah, I was born in Surrey,
Okay.
and I lived out there for most of my life, and then moved out here like 3 years ago.
Okay, so
So
you're quite
Vancouver,
local.
yeah, quite local. Yeah, never moved outside of the Lower Mainland.
Awesome. Love that. That's awesome. Well, me too. Um,
Nice.
and I think I think why we clicked. It's funny the things you're saying too. It's like I feel like we've kind of lived the same childhood in a certain sense and certain things like that. And like the number five,
Mm.
picking it because like if you're ever a kid and they're like 10 and like things like that. And we've both gone to Maui and Waikiki, which I thought was kind of funny
Hey.
too. But then again, I think that's kind of like the touristy place to go. So maybe that's kind of
Yeah.
a write off though,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But that's all right. I'll still take it. Um, so we're gonna get to the more kind of usual questions. So that was speed round, and we got the two truths, one lie. Just kind of get to know how you are.
Mm.
But one question that kind of think is kind of on everyone's mind a little bit is what made you want to begin getting into music, and where do you kind of find that passion to get into music?
Yeah, I always try to pinpoint it when people ask me. Um, I think if I think back to like the first moment where I fell in love with guitar playing, there was a girl that came over to a friend's house. I was visiting a friend for like a weekend, just
Mhm.
like went up to the interior and stayed with him. And this girl came over to his house and she had a guitar in her back. And I just remember being fascinated with this idea that someone in real life was playing guitar, because you see it in movies, or you knew that playing guitar was a thing, or like as a kid going to church, you'd see the guy playing on stage, and it felt larger than life. It felt like
Mhm.
that was this thing that very few people actually could do. And to be in a setting where it was somebody right in front of me playing,
Okay.
I think it made it possible. It was like I think I'd always been fascinated when I saw people playing, but this was like, oh, this is some of my age doing it and singing. And there was just a moment where I think it really connected with me that it wasn't some superhero power. It was like you could pick it up and learn it. And I think that was the very first moment. And then there was like little moments after that. Like my sister left her guitar. She went to England and she left her guitar. So I remember going to her room one day and just grabbing it. And that was the first time like I had one in my hands. And I think I went on to Google and looked up like how do you play guitar. Um, and yeah, I was just the minute I picked it up, I was just so determined I was going to learn it. And it's funny. It's almost like that was 12 years ago. And I don't think there was ever a doubt in my mind since I picked it up that I was going to make it happen. But I didn't put all the pieces together. And you have to like, you kind of learn things. But it is interesting when I look back that like very quickly I was checking off the things on the list that I had to do to make it without realizing.
Mhm.
Like I was finding open mics, you know, really soon after I started playing. Before I could even really play, I was booking in for open mics, kind of going just let's see what happens. And the minute I picked up, I started writing like right away. I think it's something that you're supposed to do when you do it. Like you put the pieces faster than most.
Mhm.
Most people probably spend like 5 or 6 years kind of messing around, playing, maybe writing something here or there. For me, it was like all in. Like I picked it up and I just started writing right away. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I learned what I could from other songs, and then I started turning it into my own thing and playing open mics, booking shows, putting together a band. Yeah, like I was up every night. Like it was my last year of high school or last 2 years where I started learning. And
Mhm.
I mean, I gave up on high school in grade 11 and just said, okay, I'm all in on music. And I scraped by high school, barely got through it. And then I signed up for a music. Like the minute I got out, I was like, okay, what could like my parents said, okay, we'll pay for a year of university. Uh, but if you don't go to university, you're out. And so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, well, paying for university or kicking me out of the house, I'm gonna try to make it work. So
Okay.
I just went, well, let's like do school. So I signed up for music school, and
Okay.
that gave me like I felt like because I started late, there was always pressure that I had to jump ahead 10 times faster than most people. And I think that was always on my mind. Like, okay, I have to write 10 times quicker than someone who learns when they're 12.
Mhm.
I have to like learn the actual like instrument 10 times quicker than someone when they were 12. So I think I always felt like I had to do catch up. And so going to school, I felt that same thing. It was like, okay, I'm going to school with these people that are miles ahead of me because they've been playing for 7 years longer than me. And I barely got in. Like the guy who I interviewed for, who ended up being my teacher for 3 years, like he told me, yeah, you're nowhere near where you need to be to get in. Um, but I'm gonna give you a chance. So I was like, okay, like I guess it's my Rocky moment where this university teacher lets me in, and but it was a grind. Like it was 3 years of constantly failing, not being good enough. Um, but the whole time I kind of knew that I was so far behind that I didn't really I wasn't um looking at it like, oh, I did worse than that other guy. I looked at it like I was always getting closer. So even though if I was not like where they were, I knew that the amount how quickly I was learning and how much time I was putting in, like I was climbing the ladder. I was just so low
Mhm.
on it that you wouldn't know, right away. And so
Nice.
that was sort of how I felt. And once I got out of university, it was, another 3, 4 years of just being in the local scene. Yeah, trying to get some of those. There's like always these things that you have to do, like these experience things that you have to do in any career that I always kind of knew it was just part of it. Like doing the
Mhm.
grind of playing shows in Vancouver, networking with local artists. And so there was, yeah, I think with anything, there's that like 7 or 8 year period where you just know it's not going to happen overnight. Um, but I always felt like my dedication and my determination to learning and writing was higher than most people. Like if I met other artists, I could feel it in our conversations that I was putting, 8 to 10 hours a day of writing and perform and learning, where other people I felt were maybe putting 3 or 4 hours in.
Mhm.
Um, and I knew that at some point I would surpass, but I always felt that fire underneath me that like, okay, all these people you're talking to have been playing since they're 12. So you have to do 2 times as much as them every day because it's the only way you're even going to have a chance of getting to that level.
Mhm.
But I think doing that over and over and building that resilience, at some point you do start to like surpass people just because of the amount of hours you're putting in. And I think I've always
Nice.
just really forced myself to put in that, those crazy amount of hours learning. And this is like the first year where I've felt like I've been able to put a little bit of the brakes on the intense amount of learning
Mhm.
where I don't have to do 7 hours a day of writing, playing. I'm able to kind of go, okay, I've done that for a long time. I can start to think about some of the other things that are really important about being a commodity, really like a business.
Mhm.
And so it's been a change in pace because for most of my career, it's just been creating has been the highest thing on the agenda. Is just create as much as you can, and because I also knew that. Sorry, this is a long answer,
No,
but
it's all
it's
good.
kind
It's
of
all
part of
good.
it. Is that like you have to. I really set my bar at like the level of like people that were the best, and I just knew that they had put in such a ridiculous amount of hours that if I wasn't putting 8 hours a day, even if I made it, I wouldn't make it with that level of skill. And I think it's always been ingrained in me that like I don't want to make it if people don't go, yeah, that makes sense that he made it. And
Mhm.
so I think I always had that in my mind that like I wouldn't want to get a break if I like hadn't put in the hours to feel like I could back it up. Because I think getting recognized if you don't have the backing is worse than not making it because
Totally.
then people will poke at you and they always will. But I think like feeling like, okay, at least I have some sort of substance. There's always going to be people that hate, but I just wouldn't have wanted to make it if I didn't feel like I really put in those hours. And so I think that was always my mind. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I can justify the hours of the craft. Now I want to like also focus on being a more like just well-rounded person, really like a human being that understands a lot of different things.
Mhm.
if that makes sense. So I think
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. That's kind of like the story really.
it's
And
awesome.
now, yeah, having a manager is huge because it like has really helped just guide me in like my creative ideas and just going, okay, let's like I have a million ideas in my head all the time, but like let's turn it into this thing. Let's do that. Like let's
Yeah,
have like 4 or 5 paths that you can go down instead of a million, right? Otherwise, for me, it's like every day there's a new thing. So
for sure.
having like a bit of direction on like, okay, let's focus in on this for the next month and just like walk out that idea,
For sure.
So yeah.
Let's go. At the very end of that, you got cut off, unfortunately. Donovan, thank you for the subscription there. Not cut off, but what's called it? You got a little loud there, and what's called
Sure.
as far as that. So thank you for gifting those subs to Strong Arm and
Mm,
a Blue. As far as that, let's go back to that that thing there. Is what you said is yeah, definitely not too long, as Mama Lisa says. I think that was beautiful. First off, I think hard work pays off, and I think that's a perfect example of what I've seen with you.
mm,
It's not like I looked on your account, and this happens so often on TikTok, and I'm sure you've seen it on your TikTok thing, just scrolling through the For You page. You get one person who's got like millions of likes on a video, and that's the only video they have. That's it. It's like
mm,
it's they've hit it, and that's it. And with you is I could literally go like that and see all the hard
mm,
work that you put in. It's the same kind of positive, wholesome vibes. It's the hard work, it's the learning, it's the striving, it's every day in and out, trying something new or trying something to kind of see what works and stuff like that. And I know,
mm,
um, sorry, my throat's getting a little caught up here. But the but getting um and I think your mission is so something that people can relate with something as scary as COVID. And you, more than anyone that I've ever had on, has I've had people contact me when I put out the promo saying I'm so excited for
mm.
this one. I follow this dude on TikTok, or I seen his stuff. I
Hey.
what's called or even there's actually a couple people who have been following you even before the TikTok, which I thought was really awesome as well, just because you've been around the
Cool.
music scene in Vancouver. Which I thought was really awesome and cool. And I think that's it definitely goes to show the hard work that you've put in. And um you definitely got a brilliant team in your manager as well. And
Yeah, yeah.
our teams have kind
Shout
of
shout out to Giovanna if
for
she's
sure.
watching.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's a
Big shout out
killer.
to Giovanna. I totally
Yeah.
agree. And um, no, I think my team has been able to work side by side with her to kind of get this all set up and work with that. And
Mm, yeah.
nothing but everything I've gotten back from feedback as far as when they've dealt with her has just been super positive and such an
Mm,
amazing person. I think
mm,
you're very lucky, and I know you know this. So it's got to have
yeah,
someone like her on your team, and
definitely.
I think you two
Yeah.
are really just a great team, the two of you together. I think you both
Mm,
balance each other out very, very well in your
yeah.
creative, in your kind of creative like minds and how things work. And I think for you guys, the sky is the damn limit for you guys, and I'm very excited to
Mm,
watch and see how far it can go, because I don't think we're stopping anytime soon. And
mm.
um, yeah, so I'm very, very excited for to see kind of where how the next like couple months plays out for you guys, and all the great things that are coming to you. And I'm been watching your Instagram story, and every day it's like you're doing something else.
Mm.
You're crazy. I don't know when you sleep. um,
Yeah,
but I'm definitely impressed with
yeah,
how
you
you do it.
gotta sorry, I say yeah, it's a balance. I mean, I've even felt lately like it's funny. Yeah, I've always had a lot of energy. I've been it's like there's the hard working side of it, which is like the dedication, but then there's also the natural energy, which I don't think is like a it's not an like a boastful thing to say because some people like I just have energy and it's like I think I haven't ever been diagnosed with anything, but I've always had problem like sitting still. Like I've always had tics. Like
Hmm.
as a kid, and this is real shit, but
Yeah.
like I always twirled my hair since I was a kid. Like it's just something to do with my fingers, or like I used to make sounds. Like I used to go and I had these little tics, and my
Hmm.
parents for a long time thought like, it could be something serious, and so for me, guitar it was always like a way to almost like soothe my fingers, like and soothe my body a bit. Um, and so I've
That.
always had like this crazy amount of energy, and I think I like and I felt like as a kid, a lot of times I would hear like keep it down or like shh, like Travis, like calm down or whatever. And I
Mhm.
was saying to someone the other day, like, um, I think what I'm doing, going out and singing to all these people and connecting, is almost like what I need. It's like when I hit max capacity of like, oh, like I am exhausted. It's like it takes a lot for me. My roommates will even say it, like I'll come home after like a 8 hour day doing so much stuff, and I still just want to talk about life. But then there's times where I'm like, oh, and my body when it hits me, it's like, yeah, you're done. You like, you can't go anymore. And so there has been lately a real sort of um, realization for me on the amount of time I spend and taking time to rest and recover and not overdo it. Even when I know I could do more, go, you know what, you've done enough today, or like take the day off. And that's something I've never really had trouble with. And maybe I'm getting a bit older too, that I am starting to realize how important it is to like just self-care and not go to your absolute limit. Because when
Mhm.
you do that, you can only do that so much before you crash, and it's harder to get back. And so I think I am trying to like avoid burnout by just being a little bit more cautious with how much energy and time, even if it's stuff I love, because I could
Mhm.
sing and play all day, but it burns you out at some point, you know?
Totally. Yeah, and I think with something we've talked about quite a bit here on this podcast is a lot of creator burnout. It's even though it's something you
Mm,
love doing and it's something that gives you when you want to wake up in the morning, you feel so excited to do. It still can contribute to that if you don't take it possibly. And Mama Lisa said there's rest and self care and put it in
mm,
the proper forms. And yes, of course, if it definitely I love what you said about how it soothes your fingers and it's almost like that thing that can kind of get you going because it's I growing up with ADHD, I totally kind of I can
mm,
relate in a sense. Obviously, it's not one to one, but it is in the sense of I always have to be moving. My feet are always moving. Everything's always moving.
mm.
Until I'm passed out of sleep, then that's when everything I guess kind of slows down a little
Yeah.
bit, and that takes a long time to get to sleep as well. Um,
Mm,
so I definitely can. I know where you're coming from with the kind of like doing everything, and for me, that's I guess kind of games, video games, has kind of been my outlet
mm,
more than anything.
mm,
And
mm,
I'm glad you found that kind of outlet because it's definitely
mm,
a peaceful thing when you've kind of hit that
mm.
thing that works best for you.
Yeah. And when you get older, it's like I think there's a real awareness of priorities and what's important. And so I think you can get into, like for me, I know the limit, and I feel like you probably would say the same even with video gaming. When you're a kid, you go out all out on that stuff because it's like an escape.
Hmm.
Then you get older and it's actually really good to have those things because you're not spending all your time doing it. You do it because you know you need to check out. And so I almost
Totally.
think video games are way more beneficial when you get into your mid 20s, 30s. Because I have friends that's like their thing. They're so busy and they do so much that for them to have, 2 hours a day where they can zone out, they need it. And it's good for them. And I
Hmm.
think there is something as you get older where these things that you do aren't really vices. They're more just like tools to relax and kind of stay level headed. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. Do you have any games that that you've played in the past, whether it be past or even now?
I just see. I'm more of like I love communal games more than anything.
Okay.
So me and my roommate played Rocket League for. We were doing that for a while.
Damn. Okay. Maybe we
It's
have
a
to get you.
great game.
We're gonna have to get you playing Rocket League.
Maybe.
I just got into it recently, so
Oh, it's a good game. Yeah,
yeah.
that was fun, and it's fun because you get to just doing it with other people, and I think I'm more of a simple game kind of guy. I don't have the time to invest. I know if
Right.
I invested into games, I would probably go all in on it. And I'm sure there will be a time in my life where it's like, okay, now I'm gonna like really learn how to play. But I just
Yeah.
haven't hit that season yet. And I get frustrated quick. Like if I can't pick it up, I'm like, oh man, I'm so bad. But
Yeah.
so
That's so
yeah.
good. Well,
But
hey, if you ever want to play Rocket League, hit me up. We have a group of guys who've been playing the last couple nights, and we've
hey,
been running.
all
Yeah,
right.
so it's been a
That
lot of
sounds fun.
fun. So we'd definitely be happy to have you on, even if it's just a mindless game for like an
Yeah.
hour or so. We'd be happy to have you. As Donovan said, apparently I'm cracked at Rocket League. I don't know about that, but I'll take the compliment, Donovan. Thank you, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Um, what's it called? If you were given three things to make you happy, what would those three things be? And they have to be materialistic.
Mm. Um, well, I think I'm gonna have to say money is one of them. I'm not one
Okay.
that needs a lot of money, but I think having enough so that you're not stressed about like I think my relationship with money is like to avoid to be able to free myself up to like give back to people.
Of
And so when
course.
I say that, I think it could be a, it might be taken as a controversial answer, but I think when you have enough, you can start to give back and you can start to and I think I'm someone who naturally just wants to like uh invest in people
Of course.
and do things that aren't about me. And so I think money it has stopped me at times from not being able to do that because it's like, well, I need enough to survive. So I have to say that because I think
Love
it's
that.
actually an answer that might push back on some people's opinion, but I think it's like, yeah, like to do what you love, you need to finance yourself. So
Definitely.
I'll say that. I'll say guitar for sure. That's number one. Like that's
Mhm.
pretty much all I need. I could probably survive on an island. Um, and that's my number one. Second one's money, and then
Right.
because these are all material things, right?
Of
We're not
course.
talking about
Yes.
like, so then the third one would have to be, oh shit,
It's
what's
funny.
something that's
Even
like,
I got stuck on the third one too. Like I was, and so my,
yeah,
my third one ended up being the fridge and the pantry.
oh shit,
But
I love that.
let's go. But yeah, so no,
Okay, because
yeah.
yeah, you know what? Third thing would be like one dope ass outfit. Like one
Okay.
fit that just fucked. Like I just need one fit that I could wear every day, and it was just like the dopest fit ever.
Sounds
That
good.
would be. I'd have to have that because I want to look good. You know what I mean? Got a little bit of money, I look good, and then I'm playing my guitar. I think I've lived a good life.
That sounds good. Let's go. So guitar, money, and the drip. I got you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go. That's a good one. I like that because I figured the guitar would have to be on there for sure. Let's go. And
Yeah.
let's go. And I I understand where you're worried about like the money question kind of seeming a bit controversial, but I the way you explained it, I totally understand. It's to kind of free up the time and give you some more time to do what you love and to spend time with the people you love and the people that you enjoy.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's definitely something I can understand is if I had a whole lot more money, that's probably one thing I'd be doing is spending the time with people that I love, people that
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
maybe or at least more time, I should say.
Mhm.
And definitely
Yeah.
free up that time. And I like that answer. I definitely understand where you're coming from on that side.
Mhm.
Who and so we talked to obviously like there's a couple influencers that inspire you and think certain things, but who or what inspires you?
Yeah, I think a big thing like that inspires me is being different. I was explaining to someone the other day, like as a kid, I was always different. I don't know if I could have like pinpointed why when I was younger,
Mhm.
but I just was like, I just, I didn't fit in and it was in different ways, but you start to become aware when you're in surroundings, especially when you're younger, where you don't function like other people or like you see people doing something and you go, oh, that's not how I do it, and you
Mhm.
become very aware as you get older like that you constantly are kind of standing out in situations, but when you don't have a thing or something to rely on, you're just different, and so you don't have enough definition on it, so you can't really stand true to it because you're kind of just you're not different in the sense that you've chosen to be different. You're different in the sense that you stand out amongst people. As you
Mhm.
get a bit older and you start to understand why you're different and you learn about who you are and what actually makes you happy and why there's probably a lot of things that other people are find happiness in that I just don't. Once I started becoming aware of that and that it was just that they had a different set of like different set of sort of responses to things or
Mhm.
they connected to different things. I stopped the comparison game. And then I just realized like, okay, I'm just different. Now I can like focus in on being different and what do I want that to look like? And so different started to have a really positive connotation around it for me. It was negative for so long. Then I started going, oh, I just am different. Like, and people say it and and then you realize people actually really like it. And also like different, when you're different, it has a like the way people react to you is always a little bit, it's not always the same. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to different reactions.
Mm,
When you fit in, you're going to probably get a lot of the same reactions to you. So you kind of become aware of how people are. And so you're comfortable with it. When you're a little bit different, people's reactions and responses are all over the place. And when you don't know it well enough or you haven't taken the time to understand it, it can kind of freak you out or it can make you feel like, oh shit, like I'm fucking up or something. Once I became really aware of like the spectrum of responses that people would give me, and I started realizing it's like it's just a natural thing when like two things come together. I started becoming way more open to how people responded to me, and nothing was bad.
mm,
Everything was just a new way of of like responding to my energy. And so I've become really comfortable with any kind of response that I make people have, and none of it really bothers me anymore. It's just a byproduct of me being me, that I'm going to get these really unique reactions to who I am. And that has become such a positive thing in my life because it makes it exciting. And it means that I can't really have any certainty of how someone's going to be. And then you walk around life going, hey, it's going to be a fun day because like being me is just going to create these unique experiences. But that relationship with being different has been such a lifelong thing to figure out. And I think it's important when I say it to explain the negative side so that it doesn't sound like I'm going, oh, I'm a different guy,
mm-hmm.
as in like, that arrogant thing of I'm different than everybody. It's more that it was actually so negative for so long that I had to really work at making it positive. And I had so many situations where I'd leave going, I wish I like just could fucking fit in, you know? And so, yeah, I think that becomes a real, that's become a real like, motivate, or like, what was the word you said? Like you
Inspiration.
said, what inspires you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think what inspires me has been that I have created a really deep relationship with being different. And it's one that I'm proud that I haven't given up on it,
Definitely.
and I'm starting to really understand it. And so I wake up going, I'm cool with being different now. So like, how can I use it to my advantage? Like, what can I do to like capitalize on it? And it inspires me because I think I would never want to go back now. I try to keep being inspired about it so that like, because if I'm not inspired by it, then I'm like deterred by it. It's like weird how in life it's like it's a survival thing. You
Mm-hmm.
have to think of something a certain way, not because like you're trying to be arrogant or like cocky, but if you don't think of it one way, you naturally your brain's going to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have to stay so focused on it, because I know that at any moment, like I can go back to the other way of looking at it, and that's where I get like really uncomfortable. So I don't know if that sort of makes sense,
Definitely.
but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's hard because I think as a kid, you like being different and finding kind of who you are is so important as a kid, and not being able to fit in, especially in like a school setting, is very uncomfortable. And especially if you're kind of that different kid, that's not a good thing. It doesn't become usually like even a good thing until you become kind of older, and then people are like, oh, like the normal people aren't that fun anymore. It's the people who are different and kind of think differently and are creatively differently, and kind of that different kind of like thought and look on life are the ones who are the ones who kind of prevail and the ones that are interesting. And it sucks because you're
Mm,
totally right. It's not like it's a positive path all the way up. It's a lot of what's wrong with me, why does everyone doesn't kind of understand me, like why do these people find this thing happiness but I don't find this as a
mm,
happiness. It's definitely an interesting kind of way to look at it. And I feel bad for you that you had to go through all that, but I think also now is you're on the kind of the flip side
mm.
of it now, where
Yeah.
you get to play around with it a little bit because you understand it almost better than most. And I think that also that difference and being able to accept different responses and not be scared of kind of that rejection of people has led you to kind of where you
Mm,
are, being able to go on a beach and be like,
yeah.
hey, let me sing you a song and so thing. And
Yeah.
some people kind of might, and you've seen in some videos, some people are kind of thrown off by it a little bit. Some people are super open to it now that they know who you are.
Mm,
But it's definitely, I'm sure it wasn't an easy path before that big TikTok went viral. I'm sure it was kind of a lot of people going, and you'd be like, oh, trust me, sort of thing. Like, I'm not just some
yeah.
weirdo. I'm what's called, I promise I'm good at this sort of thing.
Mm,
And
mm,
watching your old videos is it's not like you don't put on a show for every single one you do. So it's definitely been,
mm,
it's been awesome to watch, and as far as TikTok and things like that. So definitely.
yeah, and I think it's like uh part of my journey has been accepting the acceptance of others, because you do get kind of hard-headed when you're used to having to like find your place.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think that's been a journey of kind of creating certain barriers that have helped me push through some of these negative thoughts. But then at a certain point, you have to kind of ease up a bit and not always assume the worst, because it's easy to do that too. And I think what's cool about this thing with the singing to strangers is like I get a lot of love from people, um, and it's really kind of helped me break down some of those negative thoughts that still stick in my head. Like eventually you go, oh, people do really like what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Uh, there isn't that high school bully who's out to get you anymore. At some point, they kind of disappear, and it almost gets weird when somebody has like a super negative energy that
Totally.
like it doesn't sting the same way anymore. It's kind of like, uh-oh, that stands out. I think that person's probably going through some shit. Um,
Totally.
and yeah, it's just when you're older, the bully mentality or the angry mentality, it stands out so much that it just doesn't, it feels uh like it almost isn't real. It's kind of like when it happens, you go, oh, that person has not adjusted. They
Hmm.
haven't figured it out. And so you have a lot more empathy when someone comes at you with that sort of energy. And it's rare. Like I would say, out of all the people I've approached, there's only been like two or three people that have been like rude. Everyone's been super kind, and yeah, I think it's been a really good experience for me. I almost had to do it to get rid of some of my preconceived ideas. I almost had to just throw myself into the lion's den and go, I'm just gonna throw myself in front of as many people as possible so I can like eliminate some of these narratives that I've created.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because I would say now, like, I just believe most people are pretty dope. And if everyone kind of could take my experience, I think we would all walk around realizing like those negative things you hear or things you see are truly one out of the billion, and they
Hmm.
get highlighted. Like you'll see a negative video on TikTok of someone like, you know, saying something super intense, and it's stuff like that. I'll even be like, oh man, I hope I don't run into someone like that, because like I feel like they'll just tear me apart.
Hmm.
But you don't. It's so rare that 99% of the people you come in contact with are just these beautiful, awesome people. And it's made me kind of get rid of that idea that people aren't nice.
Hmm.
Cause like, I don't know, everyone is pretty nice. Like there's not that many people walking around looking to get you and like lose their shit on you. You're
Hmm.
unlucky if that happens to you. Like
Yeah,
that's not a
totally.
good day. If it's not like you shouldn't expect it. You should expect that like if you're giving out love, you're gonna get love. And if you don't, it's kind of like you got to be able to realize that's rare. Like if someone loses their shit,
What
kind
was
of right, yeah.
what was going through your mind in probably the first like 10 people that you went up to? Like, what was going through your mind? Because my anxiety could never. But like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like you're never sure. I guess I've always been an outgoing person, so I know that I've been good at like having conversations with people I don't know, and I think I had a bit of that tool
mhm,
already. It wasn't like I'd never talked to anyone before, like a stranger, but yeah, I mean, I was pretty nervous. Like, you just don't know what reaction you're gonna get,
mhm.
but I did like 10 or 15 of them, and everyone was super positive, and it was a chance to talk to cute girls. It's like, why not?
Hey, it's perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and honestly, it like kind of helps. It's like, and you start to realize, like, at first, and that's like honestly part of the journey. At first, it's like you try to pick the people that you feel like would respond well to you, and so you're looking for someone who seems friendly and chill. But I think now I'm at a point where I really don't go out with like too much of a like an agenda or any agenda. Like I don't like that word, and I think the more I've done it, the more I've had to like really get rid of that because I think I can feel when it takes away from it, like becomes disingenuous. And
Hmm.
so the more I just feel like I go out and I'm like, truly, whoever comes into my path, I'm open. And I've had some of the best experiences with the most like kind of unassuming people that now I don't know, I got through the beginning part of like fear, and now I'm like, someone was talking the other day of like fear is a thing where when it's in front of you, it's like something you have to push up against, and that's really hard. But once you push hard enough, it gets behind you, and then it actually propels you forward. And I
Love
feel
that.
like that's where I'm at now, where like I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous because
Of
it's always
course.
different.
Hmm.
But I do go in now with like knowing that it's going to be good and that there's going to be great conversations and people are going to laugh and I'm going to laugh. And it's like all of that stuff is fuel for my soul. So it's like, that it's like working out. There's the part of it that always sucks, like the pain of it, but so many other good things come from it that you choose to do it because like you're willing to go through that painful part, knowing that the other 90% of the outcome is like the best thing ever. And so I
Oh yeah.
now know that like it's so enjoyable that I can deal with that 10% of the nerves and the fear that will always be there.
Sure. And I think you've handled it very, very well, and how you kind of how you handle fear, and you would never tell by your TikTok page that you fear anything. And I watched I was able to watch about the 10 minutes of the live stream from with Van City that you did a couple days ago.
Oh, that's dope.
There is our Hawaiian boy Barley. Welcome, Barley. Thanks for the 45
Hey.
biddies. Appreciate ya. Um, and so the talking about the um sorry, I'm like I totally was thrown off by the
It's
biddies, but
okay. Our boys in here, yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, another Rocket League friend of ours that what's it called. If you come
Oh,
play Rocket
dope.
League, you can come play with Barley, me, and Donovan for sure. But would be the um oh my goodness, I'm totally like out of like totally blew my train of thought here.
Yeah,
Um,
you say you're watching the 10 minutes of the Van City thing.
that's right. And what's and how relaxed you seemed compared to one that's
Mm,
live stream. That I mean, I do this every week, and this is like, whoo.
mm.
Welcome, well, welcome, Baba. How's it going? Also, too, I just also to throw in the chat too. I saw that Mr. Ken Carter here is in here, which is also a future guest on the stream too. So
Mm.
welcome. I know
Hey.
I want this might be one of your first videos you've ever seen or live streams you've ever seen. And yes, Donovan is right. You guys need to exclamation mark guest, and you will see the Travis's links. Um, damn, you guys are going crazy here. I got a cable chat here. Give me one sec. Travis's smile is so contagious. You can see it. I know, right? Look at that big
Oh,
smile
that's
on
so
that guy.
nice.
For sure. But yeah, go check out the Linktree link. And I was actually just going to myself too. If you guys go to the very top link there is a vote for Travis on CBC Music Spotlight. I am
Hey,
saying
thank
this,
you.
not him, but you guys need to go
Yeah.
vote for it. I will say it does take a little bit of searching, but I'm going to teach you guys how to do it right now. So you're going to go on that page, you're going to click it. You're going to search up his name, which is Travis James. Because I think on mobile it's a little bit different. Actually, so okay, so if you do Travis James on the computer, it's the third thing that pops out. However,
Mm,
if you're struggling to find it, scroll down to province and territory and put it as British Columbia. That'll pop them up very close to the beginning there, and it'll make it a
mm.
whole lot easier. And go, you're gonna click view, and then there will be a button on I mean the left. It might be different on your phone, and you're gonna hit vote. You can do it every single day, and what until what? I think Thursday. Is that right?
3 days, I think, left.
It
3
is left?
days.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely go
Yeah, that
vote.
really helps.
Go
Thanks,
go
guys.
support him out. It'll definitely be worth it. If you guys haven't already heard End of the World, it's
Mm.
my favorite song that you've written so far. Just voted. Thank you, Donovan. I
Thanks, dude.
appreciate it. Um, but
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
there you go. So what's going? You have three more
Yeah.
days. You said we can vote still.
3 more days left. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. So
Oh,
it's
thanks, guys.
for sure. So let's go. So
Appreciate that.
go hit those. Wait, is that Travis? That is Travis. This is Travis.
That is
Um,
me.
exactly. So let's go. And I know Baba. I know you're from Vancouver too. So you might have also seen that TikTok on the For You page of him going and meeting strangers throughout. That song in your playlist. That's crazy. See, I'm telling you, so many people reached out before the this stream was
Uh,
like, wow, that's so cool. I love
I
this guy. He's so
appreciate
awesome.
that.
So
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely been
Cool.
it's definitely, and I agree, Bob. It's definitely been an honor for us too. So let's go to have him on here. So it's
Well,
I'm
this is really, yeah, and dude, this has been. I haven't done a lot of this stuff, like talking about the journey, so it's
for
nice to
sure.
just to go through it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's
No
a different.
worries.
It's nice having. It's not, the interview stuff becomes so similar.
Yeah.
And then when people ask you questions like, "Oh, how did you do the singing to strangers?" It's really hard for me to summarize because there's so many parts that I feel like are so important in my journey, but
Hmm.
you have to because it's how you get your little sound bites. So it is nice to be able to not feel like you have to summarize things so quickly.
Hmm. And Ken, I see you up there. What's it called? Have fun cleaning. And we're glad you're listening to it on the side there. Um, yeah, what's it called? Me and Travis will do dishes if you want. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, mate, I'm down.
Exactly. Let's go. And then so yeah, so if you guys haven't already, go hit the exclamation mark guest. It'll get you the link for the thing there. If you haven't voted, vote today, tomorrow, and up until is Thursday. Did I say that correctly? Thursday's the
Yeah,
last day. Okay.
Thursday. Yeah, yeah.
You can do it every single day. That TikTok was too good, right? It was amazing, Bob. I agree. Um, we're gonna run one more question, and then we're gonna go on
Sure.
to a break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do deep questions, like really deep questions. You've
Cool.
already touched on the deepness a little bit, which is awesome, but and that's no
Yeah,
problem at all.
we'll get into it, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Mama Lisa threw a vote in there for you too, so we're getting all the votes going in, which is great.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Truly.
Big. And what's God, and I wish you the best too. What as far as that too, because I'm not too familiar with this stuff, and I'm so sorry about
Mm.
that. What does what's go? What is kind of the prize for kind of winning all that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my two things I say on that is one, like I'm not one to really believe in music as competition,
Of
and I
course.
think it's like always like when you go into it, you have to you have to remind yourself like that all these things are a tool to like succeed. But if your mindset is that like I have to win this, I think you're a little off on what it's all about. And so I think I go into these things, and it's hard because you do get into it, but I do truly have the mindset of like I don't care if I win, but I care that I do my best
Hmm.
at it. And people supporting me and believing in me is like um it means that I have to give it my all. And it's been a really cool thing to go through this and going, you know what really inspires me is people voting, commenting, sharing. So I'm going to push it as hard as I can and do my best so that I know I did service to the people that are backing me. But the outcome is it's not in our hands. And so I think that's kind of my view of it is
Hmm.
that the journey is like I'm going to give everything, but the outcome I can't stress on what it will be. But if I do win, um, you get, yeah, like they help you record music, they pay for some PR,
It's
they
awesome.
fly you out to Toronto. So there's some really good prizes, and yeah, I would love to win. I think the momentum that you get from even just getting people on board though is also how I feel is like that's almost better than the competition because it's like
Mm.
a way to rally your supporters and give people like something to do. And I think I've had more fun just doing that and seeing how creative people are with like their posts,
Mm.
sharing it, doing that thing yesterday where I did a 2.5 hour live stream where I painted or I played music while my friend Lindsay painted. And that's stuff that's become so fun for me because it means I get to be creative. I get to think outside the box. And so I think this competition has just given me a chance to um, yeah, really be creative. But if I did win, yeah, there's some really good prizes. But
And I think with that mindset that you
yeah,
have there, I think you've already won with that kind of mindset and
maybe,
that positive
yeah,
mindset of basically being like, it's not whether I win or lose, it's how I kind of hold myself and
yeah.
kind of improve, and I hold myself to the high standard that I
Mm,
I need to do my best, and I think with that kind of
mm,
mindset, you might have not won
mm.
the whole contest, but yeah, you won our hearts. Exactly, Donovan. Exactly. That's
And
word for word what I was
that's what
going
I'm
for.
after. That's what I'm
Exactly.
after, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I haven't met I haven't seen a single comment, a single message, and I'm sure obviously I'm not combing through everything, but I haven't seen anyone that has said have anything bad to say about you, and I don't think there would be because of how such a wholesome
Mm,
guy you are. So, um, we are going to hit a quick break here, as we said.
let's do it.
So we will be back in a few minutes here. If you guys can, we'd love for you guys to stay. Check out all of Travis's stuff. Exclamation mark Discord. We'll be able to check out all of our stuff. If you guys are interested in possibly playing Rocket League with us later, go hit up that Discord and join the Discord. I will definitely be playing this things. I'm sure after this thing, Travis is gonna be sick and tired of me, so that's okay. Let's go. But maybe in a future day, maybe Travis will come and hang out with us and play Rocket League.
Dude. We'll
For
get
sure.
in there.
See, oh, look at that. We got a little bit of a. I think that was a promise. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna hold you to that. That's okay.
You can hold me to it. You can hold me
Okay,
to it.
okay. Let's go. Donovan, write that down. No, just kidding. But yeah, we'll be definitely playing some Rocket League. We'll be doing some other things in there. So if you guys can use this time to go hit the Discord up, nicely linked by Donovan in there. And we will be back very, very soon after this short little break. We'll see you in a bit.
Comfortable. 1 carrot, a pack of condoms, and lube, extra large. Yeah, well, they're gonna be able to fit around the carrot. Sounds like a fun night alone. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So.
What 3 items would you bring to a cashier at a grocery store if you wanted to make the cashier uncomfortable? Hemorrhoids cream, zucchini,
That just touches close to home.
and applesauce.
It's the worst dessert possible. You're just making up.
Ants. Still time on the clock. Can we do it? Okay, I'm not saying that one. Oh my god. What helps you decompress and relax? Because I struggle with that.
Here, let me show you.
Are people gonna understand? Are people gonna watch? Does anyone care? It must be crazy. Am I crazy for doing this? No one's gonna watch this. Gonna understand. Who cares? Think of it. If I just don't do it. Must be crazy. Does anyone care? Who cares? What if it doesn't work? Why? Are people gonna watch? Am I crazy? No one's gonna watch this. Welcome to my Twitch stream. Recently, I've been asking streamers, toilet paper, over or under? And here's what they said.
Toilet paper over or under? Over 1,000,000%. It's just so much easier. Why the fuck would it be under? Why?
Toilet paper over or under? I just wash my ass with my hands, bro. Easy. Don't have to waste toilet paper. Very eco-friendly. All you gotta do is have a bucket with some soap water, dip your hand in that bitch, wipe your ass, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay, first, toilet paper over or under? I usually put it in the butthole. No, it's over for sure. Over 100%.
Toilet paper over, under, over. And if you disagree, you're wrong.
Toilet paper over or under? God, the most important question. What did you just fucking say? Over? Dead to me. Under. Don't fucking play with me. Under. If you put it under, you could just rip across. You put it over, you gotta like be careful or the whole roll's gonna end up on the fucking floor. No way.
On the outside, I try to appear as very calm, very zen, but inside I'm like, what the beep is beepity happening here? So
What current trend makes no sense to you?
There was a trend where you put your nuts in soy sauce
Okay, yes.
and orange juice, and apparently you could taste it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say that I put my nuts in soy sauce, but I may have. And yeah, no, couldn't taste it. Really, really weird. I was expecting to just get a mouthful of flavor, dude, but no, just nothing, dude, nothing. Bit underwhelming.
Is that against Twitch TOS to do that on stream? Let's look at both of us how we're standing right now. Like, what if we just squat? Like, nothing's wrong with squatting on stream, right?
Yeah, if you're not like pulling your nuts out, I could just like do a little like a little curtsy, you know? Get my nuts in the soy sauce, dude. Give him a little bath.
Welcome to Factor
Yeah,
Cap. What life-changing event have you experienced?
So I was dating a girl, and then it is kind of just like it made me realize like what true love is. I think we were in a relationship for about maybe 3 years, and she kind of just disappeared out of nowhere, and she didn't really tell me why. Her parents showed up, and she gave me a letter. Not her mom did. And just like, oh yeah, she wants to give you this. I was like, oh wait, where is she? It's just like she recently passed away. I'm just like that was like a very like life-changing moment to me, because like in the letter it says, I apologize for not letting you know what happened to me, because I didn't want you to be in the same pain I was going to. Because at the time, she didn't tell me, but she had cancer. I was like, wow, that explains why she was very distant to me towards the end of the relationship. And what the note says, like, I apologize if your outlook on life or love changed because of me. But if you find someone that you truly love, don't let go of them.
My own mod. Recently, I've been asking streamers, if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called? And here's what they said.
If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called? Nut sauce.
If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called? Nut creme. You know the little French apostrophe? Creme. Nut creme. There we go. Nut creme. I think that's fucking perfect.
I'm so bad with that. I'm so bad with the buttons. I don't even know what buttons I'm clicking. Hi guys, welcome back. Oh, what's up? Welcome, Commando. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. How'd you guys like the break screen? How was that? How was the break screen for you guys? Let's go. Well, welcome. Thank you for the follow. We today are here interviewing our lovely friend, our lovely guest, Travis, who sings to strangers in Vancouver. So if you'd like to, we're about to get into deep questions. You came at the perfect time. You did miss a little bit, but that's okay. It's all right. We won't judge. If maybe you've been lurking for a while. Maybe you've been here for a minute, so it's all good either way.
Shit's about to get real, so
it's yeah. You're what's going. You came at a good time. You came at the meat of the episode, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna easy into it. But one question that I forgot to actually ask at the beginning of it, and I'm kind of interested is, do you have any secret hobbies or skills that most people would not know about you?
I don't. I mean, the only thing that's like a little bit, I guess, secret. I mean, I read a lot of poetry. Like, I don't read a lot of books. I would rather read short little snippets or like creative ideas, and probably why I like songwriting. It's like I can sit and read books of like I have like a bunch of poetry books, but it's all like little poems, and I find that like the most enjoyable read. Like I have a really hard time reading a full book and like trying to like dive into the entire concept of it, but I can read a lot of like short things, and I think it reminds me of songwriting. So like, yeah, I think that's like something maybe that's like not necessarily secret or weird. It's just that that's the only stuff I really read is like poetry, because it's easy for me to kind of grasp a simple thing and like go over it again, and not like, yeah, books I just fall asleep. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, at least it's one way to put you to sleep. At least you know something. That's a very safe way to get yourself to sleep. And yeah, poetry. I think we've had the last two guests actually that's been on here. Mama Lisa herself and Metafish. What's called both write poetry. So yeah, no, poetry's definitely slaps.
Yeah, it slaps.
Right. Let's see here. What you got in here for things that we can slowly roll into. What social stigma does society need to get over?
I feel like people need to get over like people that stand out. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking about Miley Cyrus and how there was that time period where she was doing these things that were kind of these like really like some social experiments. Like she was just being really different, and there was a lot of hate around it. Like she was sort of representing, I don't know, women in a bad light, or she was being, she was pushing the boundaries. But I was thinking how cool it was that she was willing to do something so different and take the backlash for it, knowing that she's just one person and knowing she's probably going to get a lot of backlash. Like that takes a lot of mad guts to do that stuff. And I don't know, I think, and now I look at it and go, people like that's sort of like the way that she is putting herself out there it's become popularized. But it takes people being different for others to feel like, oh, that's okay now. But there's so much hate around when someone's different. And I think we need to like ease up on that a bit, because when you look at that as an example, like that was just starting sort of like a new era of like, how women could feel like they could express themselves. And now it probably wouldn't get nearly as much backlash, but in the moment it did. And I think it's just a reminder that when someone puts themselves out there and does something different, like give them a chance to finish the story, you know, give them a chance to like see if there's like a reason behind it. If it's not a selfish thing, but it's actually like someone trying to push back some barriers. And I don't know that I think I've just had that thought the other day. I was driving. I was like, I remember when Miley was hated on, but now I feel like she wouldn't at all. That was just the start of an era. And I don't know. So I think that's something that I have the perception of, like, when someone does something a little bit different, even if it pushes boundaries, give them a minute
Mhm.
and see what happens. See if there's a bigger story that needs to unfold before we're so quick to say that's dumb or don't do that or look at that person, you know?
Mhm. Wait, by the way, just right there, we also got from Bubba, we got a posture check, so we got to check our posture and
Okay,
straighten
yeah,
up a
let's do
bit. We also got a lot of love coming in from Wolf Dog. Welcome, Wolf Dog. How's it going? Good to
Hey.
see you here. Thanks for joining in. We were talking last night, actually, me and Wolf Dog, and he was showing me some of his friends to check out, and it was, what's it called, Wolf Dog. I appreciate your conversation for sure. And thank you for the love. We appreciate it always. And just going back to kind of what you said here. He talks about Miley Cyrus and being different, and it just kept on popping in my head over and over again. I don't know if you saw about the whole thing with Billie Eilish and how Billie Eilish had to the Vogue magazine where she showed a bit of skin. It was the first time, and she's always Billie Eilish. As if any of you watch or listen to kind of anything, she's always very like baggy hoodies, baggy. It's kind of her style. It's how she dresses. It's the drip. It's how she goes with things.
Yeah.
And with Vogue, she decided to show some skin off, and it was the first time ever. And there was a huge first off, because I'm knowing this because of my girlfriend being a huge Billie Eilish fan, it's from the beginning, is that how Billie Eilish, whenever she would wear baggy things, everyone's like, oh, why don't you act like wear more things like a girl, like things like that. And it was kind of disgusting in a way. And then people were like, oh, well, and then now with this whole Vogue things or this Vogue thing, is that people are all like, well, now you're showing too much skin, you're things like that, and it's like, where's the middle ground? And like you said, let her finish telling her story. And I think that's kind of part of it is. First off, as an artist, I'm sure every creator artist are trying to figure out how they kind of work, and obviously there's different things that'll happen at different times when people get to a certain age, when people different parts in their career and how they work things. And yeah, it's kind of frustrating how people just kind of jump the gun and be like, oh, they're doing this because of this. It's like, no, there's usually an idea behind of why everything kind of happens, and especially in a creative mind. And yeah, no, it's something that frustrates me because it's like let people create and show kind of their what they want to share, and art can be perceived in so many different ways, and obviously emotion is a big part of any kind of art, and obviously with music it's very seen. And I think, for instance, your End of the World music video, one of probably the coolest music videos I've seen in a long time, and I think you definitely touched the heart of. We actually played it with a couple of people on my team. And they were all like, that's so cool. And the part that really hit was the kid holding up the sign. And oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank to what the kid had on the sign. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it was. The kid held up a sign and it said something in the music video, and it was one of the cutest things ever. I'm drawing a blank to what it is.
I can't even remember what it was.
No, regardless, if you guys haven't seen the music video, go watch it. It's on Travis's YouTube under !guest. You will find all of his links. Wolf Dog put it up there as well a few minutes ago, and Donovan just threw it up again. But definitely go check it out. It's definitely a powerful music video, or one of my favorites so far.
Thank you.
As far as that, what are you most proud of in your life?
I would say overcoming some of my just emotional demons and some of the stuff that happened, you know, figuring out who I am and always kind of being a pretty expressive person. I think it did some damage early on because I couldn't handle some of the like the responses that I got from people, or some of the negativity. Because I don't know, I'm a pretty much all love kind of guy. I've just always had a deep love for people. I think I was raised in a family where it was all about being loved. And so I think early on I had some situations where it was hard to handle, like being disliked or, you know, getting some of these negative responses. And I think it did leave some of those, you know, wounds and some of that trauma, and I think getting through it, and no one fully recovers, but I would say that I'm really proud that I haven't given up on growing, and yeah, fighting that stuff because I think when the vision becomes clear that like it's what you're doing is for other people, the responsibility of not giving up on yourself is a really important part of life. And yeah, I think I am really proud that I like am way happier now than I was when I was younger. And I think it can go the other way. I think you can go super dark down the other way that it's like life gets worse and it's harder and harder to break out of. And I feel like my trajectory was I started off in a bad spot and I didn't want to stay there. And so it's been kind of that like uphill climb. And to get here now, it just feels like it feels like it was such a journey, but I do wake up feeling a lot lighter, the farther I get, which I think is nice knowing that that's where I'm headed, not the other way.
For sure. Just going off of chat, I'm so sorry. Let's go to kind of
Yeah.
derail us here a little bit, but Wolf Dog. Wolf Dog just checked out your stuff. He said, "Holy, listen to his voice. You're a crazy good singer." I agree, Wolf Dog.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Crazy. And Donovan redeemed a non-deep question, but a very important one. What's called
It's super important.
in our community. It's been a question that come up all the time. It's an ongoing kind of lore, if you will, of our this
Yeah,
podcast. Toilet paper for you, over or under?
It's definitely under. Definitely under. Yeah.
Really?
Always
Really?
under. Yeah.
Really?
Never over.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know if I've even tried over, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
Yeah,
you might,
yeah.
aside from our first ever guest, CJ, who's actually now on our
Yeah.
team,
Mm.
you are the only person to actually answer that as under.
All right.
Which is
Hey,
kinda-
I told you I was different.
Exactly. See how 360's all the way back around. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. That's funny. So we have a lot of over people who are big over fans in here. So
Okay,
let's go. So I
okay,
mean,
okay,
you might have lost
okay.
one fan, but that's all right. It's okay.
Yeah,
We still
yeah,
like you for being
pushing-
different.
That's okay. I want to push the controversial ideas. That's important.
Exactly. Breadcrumbs also said that they want to be sung by you because they live in Vancouver. Is there
Hey.
anywhere that they could possibly see you in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna start hitting Kitsilano or English Bay, probably Mondays. Kind of keeping it to 1 day a week just to
Okay.
maintain. But I'm gonna start posting on my Instagram when I'm going
Awesome.
and where I'll be going. So if you follow my Instagram, I'm gonna start giving more of a schedule so people know that'll be out.
That's awesome. 8. Have you ever been told that you sound like Coldplay's singer? I don't know.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Yeah, Chris Martin, I get it all the time. Yeah, I think I have a similar. I mean, it's only a good thing, right? If you get compared to, I just when people compare me, I'm like, hey, if you're throwing me in the category of someone like Coldplay or John Mayer or Jack Johnson, you can't complain. I mean, there's so many worse categories you can get thrown into that.
Right.
I'm just not one who I don't mind comparisons. I don't want to be like an imitator, but I think comparisons are just a nice way of knowing that you are doing something that's decent,
I've heard very, very often on your comments on almost anywhere I've seen your comments. I've seen a lot of Canada's Jack Johnson is what I've seen. It's a
I haven't
very-
seen that. They actually
Really?
coined me as Canada's Jack Johnson.
I've seen it a couple times. I've seen it in a couple comments scrolling through certain things. I've seen it on live streams. I've seen it, and I mean, hey, it's not a bad term, definitely at all. And
I love it.
no,
I love
it's-
it, dude. Jack Johnson is if I said something the other day, if I could write with anyone, it would be Jack Johnson because I think he would just be the most enjoyable dude to spend a week with and just make music.
Well, Jack Johnson, if you're on TikTok, we will be posting this on TikTok. We'd love for you guys to collab. That'd be amazing. We got Canada's Jack Johnson and the real Jack
Yeah.
Johnson. What's it called? So we'd love to see it. We'll post that on TikTok, and hopefully that'll blow up and hit up
Come
on his
on,
For You
Jack.
page. Exactly.
Let me write with you, Jack.
Exactly. Call out the people. His people contact your people.
Yeah.
The people are
Let's
great,
make
by
it
the way.
happen. Oh yeah, great, the best of the best.
Exactly. So we'll make it happen for sure. That definitely something to kind of excitement going on there. We'll get that collab to happen for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Let's see else. What do we got here? You talked a little bit about kind of love and like what love's a little bit. But what does love mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think acceptance is really the the deepest form of love is like accepting somebody for who they are, and seeing them for who they are. I think there's two things. I think you have to accept somebody and not want them to be anything other than who they are. But then you also have to see the person, and like like when someone sees you, they see past some of the, some of the surface stuff, and they just see you, the type of person you are. I think that's real love, because it takes some patience and time to see past somebody's exterior. And there's a lot of people that will never really see you because they don't take the time. So when somebody sees you and they get you, it's just, for me, when somebody like really sees some stuff that I almost don't want people to see, or I kind of go, well, no one's really going to get that. When someone does, or they say something that you're like, oh shit, you see what I feel, but I don't really express because I'm too scared to put it out there. Those are moments where I'm like, okay, I think that's like real. That's someone who cares about me, and they see the true side of me. And yeah, so I think that's it. Acceptance, and then like seeing who the person is, that like to me shows a lot of love. Yeah. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, there's also just service. Like some people bend over backwards to be there for you, and they maybe don't see you at all in the emotional side, but they have your back. There's people like that where they don't really have that depth, but they got you. And so I guess it's so hard to pinpoint it, but I think maybe for me, I do appreciate when somebody has some more of that, like, just a little bit more insight, like emotional insight. They're able to kind of stop and go, oh, okay, they're like, I do something, like when you do something, it can create an emotion like, oh, I see him doing this. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel bad. But when someone sees past the actions and they see a little bit farther, and they realize the actions is just like you trying to survive. Like, I feel like that. Like, I feel like a lot of what I do is just like survival. It's like I have to do it in order to make it through this life. And I'm doing it, best I can. And when someone just sees past all that stuff and they just kind of see who you are as a person, the actions don't really matter. They don't really care that you're a singer-songwriter. You go up to a bunch of people, you this, that. They're like, I see you as a human being. And that's really rare. Like when somebody doesn't care that I'm a musician, they like it, but it doesn't make them like me or not like me any less. It's just like they accept it, but they like me because I'm Travis. I think that's as I get old. So I'm just trying to get rid of this thing on my screen. Okay.
No worries.
Sorry. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting older, and I'm realizing like all this stuff is temporary and it's great, but I don't want everyone in my life to only care or be around me because of this thing I do. I want to know that there's some people that I could put all that away and just be me and sit on a couch, and they'd be like, yeah, I still fucking love you. Like, and I think
Totally.
that's become yeah.
Is it something you think you've kind of run into in recently in kind of doing this? And obviously you've kind of had a TikTok that popped off. It's something that's very, very, very public. You've seen all the people, even now in the previous TikToks, of people going, hey, like, we recognize you, let's go, come sing to us, everything. Do you realize that people are kind of like, you have that kind of in the back of your head of, do they want me for the music, or do they want me because personality?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think when you have a certain type of personality, you draw in certain kinds of people, and I think we're all looking to fill like a certain void in us. And so, we all do it. When you see someone who you feel like it might make up for something that you lack, like if you're not funny and then you're out and you see someone really funny, you're like, oh, I want that person in my life because they'll make me laugh because I'm not really funny. Or like, if someone is like really good at doing something and you're like, oh, I kind of need that in my life. There is that, I think, thing in everybody that we all kind of want, these things that we're drawn to. But I also think I present myself in a really genuine way. And I think what is really cool is that the people I've connected with and like the real one, the people I've actually met in real life, all of them are dope. Like I haven't met anyone who makes me feel like they're trying to like get something from me. And that's been so cool because I think it's making me realize that I am attracting the right kind of people. Like I had these two girls that drove out from Mission to come hang out at the beach and hear me sing. And it's like you don't really know. Yeah, you don't know like going into it if it's gonna be awkward or like you're gonna be weird. And they were just the most lovely, respectful girls who loved my music, loved what I was doing, but truly cared for me and wanted me to stay well. And it really made me realize that like, yeah, there are gonna be people that want you for your fame or your notoriety or something weird, but there's a lot of people that just love what you do and they don't need you. And that's like those are the people I want to have around because I like and I think I'm realizing that some people just really love music and they love the experience and that's all they want from you. And that's okay. That's what you're gonna give them, you know? And so that makes me a little bit less worried because I go, you know what? I know the people that are in my life. I know my friends, my family. And if I have a bunch of people that want me for my music, then that's what I know that's what it is. And that's what I'm going to give them. And that's what they're going to get. And it's going to be a beautiful exchange where there's no like, we understand what it is, you know, but it takes being grounded. Like 27, I think one thing I've kind of realized lately, it's like if someone asked me asked me 5 years ago, like if you got fame, what would you want from it? I think I would say things like, you know, it'd be nice to get girls, it'd be nice to make money, it'd be nice to like have friends, like cool friends, you know? And I already feel like in my life, those are things that I don't worry about anymore. Like I know that I'm going to find the right partner at some point in my life because I'm happy with who I am. So I'll find that person that connects with me and it'll be real, you know? And I don't need music for that. It'll just be, I just know that I'm confident that the right partner will come around. I know that I have great friends. I know that for me, money is no longer a thing where I want to just go buy a Lambo. Like I want, you know, and so there's
nice,
like,
though.
it would be nice. It would be, but it's like the question becomes like, and where I've been sitting on it is like, what will fame take away from you? And be really careful to like have your things grounded so that you don't try to like make up for it with success. And then I think success can be a really enjoyable thing because you understand what it is. It's a chance for you to like, for me to get my music out there, give a message that I believe in, help people get through hard times. And if I do that, then I know that I'm doing my part. I'm utilizing the success, but I'm not letting it like destroy my soul, you know? But I don't think you know that at 27, it's a lot easier to see that with like a full perspective because you know that life is going to come. Like if I only have 30 more years, they got to be better than the last 30. And I already know the things that make life good and bad. So like, I'm not going to waste the next 30 going down some weird, like rabbit holes when I already kind of know what that looks like. You know what I mean? Because then you lose another 5 years. And then if you're always coming out of a dark place, you're missing an opportunity to enjoy the world. And I think I'm way more aware of not wanting to go more than anything in life. I don't want to go to a dark place because I've been there and I want to try to like enjoy life.
From what I've seen is that you have, well, first off, what I've seen firsthand is you have an amazing team around you. That's the first thing I've seen. And I know you know that. But I think as far as well is I've also seen that you also have a really strong, from what I've seen, kind of support system. And what I would say is your family. I saw Uncle Travis doing his thing with hanging out with your nephew at the pool the other day. So that was very cute, wholesome stuff. And like I think that things like that is awesome, and you have people in your corner, and I talk about this a lot about how important it is to have those key people in your corner. And I mean, yes, it's definitely, there's unfortunately in the world of being a creative, there's going to be at least one person that's probably going to pop up that wants something from you. But the more you can treat it into the fact that everyone's coming to just kind of enjoy themselves and connect, and that sort of thing.
Mm.
It makes the world a better place and some sort of thing. And you also don't treat things like kind of in a way of just kind of a bad kind of vibe from the beginning. Because I mean, when I approached you, you could have easily just gone, hey, like, you know what, I'm not interested, sort of thing, like this, what is this gonna do for me, type of thing. And but you didn't. You opened it with kind of like, yeah, I'd love to. Like that was that. I think that was really your response. It's like, yeah, sounds good. Let's set it up, sort of thing. And obviously the details were to come after, but it was something that we like. It wasn't. I think within an hour you would respond to me saying, yeah, for sure, let's do it. And you didn't know nothing about me. You were just kind of like, yeah, it sounds good. Like, and I think the spontaneousness kind of hit with you is kind of like and I'm glad it works. This has been definitely so far, and we got a little bit left here still. Is definitely an interesting time for me to kind of get to know you, and I know the Chad's really loving it, especially because I know a good portion is from Vancouver or Canada at least. So and special thoughts. Welcome, by the way. I see you're hanging out. Thanks for coming in and popping by. Always good to see you. What else we got for questions here? I guess speaking of hanging out with your nephew, have you personally ever felt like a child?
What do you mean? Like having a kid?
No. Like, do you feel like you like acting like a child, especially like recently? Do you feel like a child ever?
Dude, that's a good question. I mean, there's this thing about life that can kind of take away that the innocence, like where you start to feel like you're growing up, and you hit a phase like, oh, I'm an adult. So I think I've been in a bit of a transition of like really embracing being an adult, and there's I think kind of that like transition period where you're like, okay, I'm gonna be an adult, and I'm gonna leave behind some of these like childish things that I do. But then I do think there's maybe I'm kind of getting into it where like you start to realize there are some really good things about being a kid, and you find the balance. And hanging out with my nephews, it like has totally brought me back to how fun it is to do simple things with them, because they give you that energy that you don't have, but it reignites something in you. And I feel like I'm hopefully getting to a stage now where I've embraced being an adult, so I can also embrace some of the things about being a kid that I don't ever want to lose. But you don't know until you kind of get rid of all of it before you can go back to that attic and go through the attic and go, I kind of like that, I'm going to bring that, you have to kind of throw it all away for a bit before you can go back and then kind of reassess. And I think I'm almost at that place where I'm going to like reassess some of those old things and go, oh, I really do like that part of me, but it's like kind of a journey.
Just so you know too, right at the start of that, Tara redeemed a hydrate, so we both got to drink some water here and hydrate ourselves.
Tara, this is great.
Tara's keeping us, making sure we're taking care of us and spreading that love for us.
I love it, man. This has been so fun. People are just awesome.
Right? I know.
You got a great community in here, man. This is really cool. And how long have you been? Let me ask you a question. Like, how long have you been building this community? And do you feel like you're on stride now? Does it feel like this is where you want to be with it?
For sure. I'm very happy. I wake up every day very, very excited for kind of what's next and what's new. Probably because I go to sleep basically thinking business, which is kind of, it goes into the burnout thing a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun. I have a lot of amazing people that are surrounding me and on my team, which are creatives in themselves and are very honest and open with me, and someone who doesn't.
You're doing great, Bren.
Thanks for that, breadcrumbs. Appreciate that. The doing great, Bren. And I'm very lucky. So I have been doing this form since March. March 9th, I think, was the first ever connection stream that we did. But I started kind of Twitch, and I started doing like kind of what average Twitch you'd see is people playing video games on Twitch. I started that in January, and it didn't kick off. It didn't really go as well as planned. And so that's why I changed it. I decided, I was like, hey, it wasn't something I was like, I love video games, but it wasn't passionate about doing it, and it wasn't different, as you kind of perfectly said it. And there was nothing different about it. And so I kind of looked to myself and like, what do I passionate about? What do I like? And it was really making connections with people, getting to learn about people that inspire me, as well as being able to kind of maybe make a friend here and there. Because as you know, with COVID, it's been very, very difficult to make any new friends. Because you can't go out anywhere for the most part. If you can, it's really restricted for the most part. So, as far as with that's kind of where it came from is that. And so I've been very lucky.
Do you feel like because of COVID, it has created a more of an intimate bond that when people come into it, there is more of a desire for friendship and not just like passing by. There's like a deeper instant connection with people because of what they're not really getting in real life.
Possibly, yeah. And I think the world's so
Mm.
like it's obviously picking up now with, I think, especially in the States, seeing people getting
Mm.
vaccinated and stuff like that, which is awesome, and I'm super excited for that, and the kind of going back to a normal world, if you will. Um, and I think everyone's so eager to watch what's next, and kind of and
Mm.
are so excited to kind of see, because there's not much to do outside of kind of really the
Mm.
internet, especially at the start of like 2020 when things really like hit with COVID. Everyone was watching. I think that's why we got so many amazing like kind of movements that were happening and things like that started was because people were just watching and waiting. And I think
Mm.
I you're kind of right. I think maybe I am lucky. I picked the kind of a time where people are missing the connection as well, and to be able to see kind of a nobody, if you will, that's what's called, that's
Mm.
being able to kind
Mm.
of interview just because I asked the question, like, hey, would you be interested
Mm.
in doing something else? And it also gives someone like you as a guest the platform to be able to kind of express yourself to people that
Mm.
maybe you're so rooted in something like music, or maybe you're something so rooted in video games or whatever it may be. And the guests, what's it called, and the guests kind of have that option to be able to show people this is actually who I am behind this kind of
Mm.
thing. And
Mm.
yeah, no, that's kind of where I've done it. And so yeah, no, you're good at this. You're gonna steal my job one day, Travis.
Dude, hey, I do it all the time. I go up to people and I ask questions, so I've gotten comfortable on both ends.
I love it. What's going on? And then, which I think that's also part of why I was so interested with working with you, is I think the stranger
Mm.
effect of being able to connect with people who you've never met before is so interesting to me. And I
Mm.
loved how you did it, and especially on a real life kind of instance of being able to go up to people like, I'm gonna sing you a song, and like, and I think it was just,
Yeah.
it hit definitely with me, and I love it for sure.
That's cool, dude. Well, I think what you're doing is really cool because I think the more people can understand, and it kind of even going back to the Miley Cyrus thing where like, I bet you if you sit down with her, she's kind of just like everybody else. Like we all go to bed at night with no one around, and we have our own thoughts, and we have our own fear and desire to do good. And I think the more we can break down the life of people, the more we'll realize everyone's just trying their best to do something that matters. And it's not about, I mean, even with the TikTok video where you get a viral video and it's really dope for a moment, but like if anything, it like you don't want it to happen all the time or else you get caught up. People think you're bigger than you are. They think that when they're around you, it's going to be like, oh, that's that guy. And I don't want that. Like, I truly would love it if that every time I meet somebody, it's like, oh, it's good to meet you. Like, and I get to ask them a question and there's like a beautiful exchange. And the more things get too hyped, the more you might lose some of the like realness of who you are, you know? And so when you can have these kind of conversations where it isn't just a 30-second thing, where I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's dangerous that we live in a world where everything's a 15-second clip because it eliminates the chance to break down ideas and tell a whole story. It's like, what's the most clickbaity, provoking thing I can say in this 10 seconds, which can be nice to get traction, but it can lose. I don't want to be a 10-second clip. I don't want my life to be summed up into 10 seconds. There's so much to it, and everyone has that. You have it, I have it, and I get worried that sometimes too much of my life gets summed up in these short little sound bites that people think they know you because they know a bunch of 10-second clips. But if you to actually sit down with somebody and have this kind of conversation, by the end of it, we're on the exact same level. We're just two humans discording through life, but like
Exactly. And connecting through life for totally. And yeah, I totally agree with it. I think it's not healthy to be on a 15-second clip and think you know someone. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, obviously
Yeah.
you can definitely get a vibe off someone, but it doesn't show you
Yeah.
who the real person behind the camera is. And as you
Mm.
said, everyone goes to bed at night. They all go to bed and alone, if you will. Like, maybe there is someone there, but you're still thinking your own
Yeah.
thoughts and at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's definitely something that can be a little scary, and yeah, it definitely opens your eyes to certain things that creators all kind of go through.
Yeah, because people like people fill in the blanks, right? And it's funny because I got some hate on my video that did really well. And I mean, I've gone through enough stuff that I have thick skin, but I do see it and go, oh, that person truly does not know me. Like, this is not, this thing I'm doing isn't, I'm not trying to provoke people. There's things I will do probably that will be. This isn't one of them. This is just, I'm going to go and sing my music for people. And I'm not looking to be the non-mask guy or the guy trying to like, you know, a lot of the clips were old clips. So I wasn't wearing a mask because it was from before COVID.
Oh,
But
okay, yeah.
no one even takes the time to ask. They just assume. And then so quickly you get this like hate. And it's like, oh, if you were to have this kind of conversation, that person would be like, oh, this dude is chill. He's not trying to stir up anything. But you don't know it because it's a 10-second clip. And now you have people that take the idea and they go with it in their own head. And it's not even that it wasn't that big of a video. You know, it's not like it got millions of views. So I feel for people that get put in a spotlight that don't get to tell their whole story, and quickly the world kind of like judges it. I do feel for it, because even getting a small little glimpse of it, like I can't imagine on a bigger scale how that would feel when you go, oh, that's just not what I'm like. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not. That's not the angle I was going for. And if you give me a chance to explain it, you'll realize that that just isn't what I was trying to create here. And I think it's a fast moving train when people start filling in a story for you. And so doing this kind of thing, it's awesome, dude. It's like, I think you're going to give a chance for a lot of people to give the whole story. And the more people like you out there trying to break down people, especially not just musicians, but you taking on other people, is such a dope thing. Cause now you're going to get to hear the life of like all these different kind of people, you know?
I appreciate it. I'm learning so much. I've learned so much through this journey in the last 2 months. It's the most kind of into it I've ever been, because I'm so I've heard so many crazy stories, so many crazy, like met so many crazy people that are just so amazing and like just awesome. And I think also too what you said, the mask thing, and it's something that I've actually heard before. And I didn't want to bring it up, but since you said it, I think like people have asked me like, oh, like you're interviewing this guy, he doesn't wear masks, and it's something that I'm like, okay, like, but I've also seen your where I kind of drew the line was I saw your live. I saw how you were asking people like, hey, like, are you okay with taking off the mask? If not, it's okay, sort of thing. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I just stay back, sort of thing. And you're like, oh yeah, of course, sort of thing. And you stay the 6 feet, and or maybe even further most times, and then you played your song. But I think also people too is one, they don't ask the questions. They just kind of jump to conclusions based off that 15-second clip, as you said. Or in a other stance is what's it called, is they also don't even think that maybe it's something that was shot even before, and it's something that I didn't even think of. But I think also too is even me knowing kind of you and so that is you have been, this isn't like you picked this up last week. This has been a journey for like the last
3 years. Yeah, we did three summers of day in, day out. Yeah. And people don't, they like off that. It's like when people don't realize, I think that when we were doing it, like there was nobody around. Even some of the ones where, you know, it was COVID, like we were doing it in like the beginning, like almost like January, February, there's like 4 people on the beach. So like you're distanced and there's truly no one around. Like that's why we filmed it that way. And so obviously when that video went out, it was like a compilation of over the last 3 years. Some of the time periods were like dead of winter, where we were like, let's just get something to shoot. It wasn't like midsummer where there's, you know, 100 people around. But when the video came out, people's perception is like, oh, it's dead of summer, and these were shot yesterday when the beaches were packed. And so I understand when you watch it, that's what you see. But again, you're not going to explain that in the video. And so it is something where like it's part of something you have to expect when you make 10-second videos, that like there's going to be questions that people have.
Too bad, because I think it's too bad, because I think there's too many people that miss the point, because it is worried about that things. And I understand the worry. I totally get that point of it. It's just too bad, because I think it misses the point of the good that you are really doing in that kind of sense of spreading kind of the joy, the happiness, and and making
Yeah.
people's day a little bit better because of something so like a short 10
Yeah, but
little
it keeps me in check. It keeps me in check, and you know, it's good, and it's funny. I always say that like someone who really supports you, they might shit test you, but like the harder somebody like wants to check you to see if you're sincere, the more they're gonna vouch for you when they actually buy in. And so like I don't want people that just love me without regard, because I think it's good to have questions and it's good to like have a standard. Um, and I like it if I have to win. I don't want to win someone over who truly has no time for me, but I don't mind the feeling of like, hey, this person doesn't just instantly love me. Like that,
Mhm.
you know, they want to know that I'm legit. And so I think I have that mindset too, that like I'm okay with a little bit of like as long as they're backing it up. Like even on some comments, if people watch, like they'll say, "Where's your mask?" I'll always take the time to explain. These are old videos. I now wear a mask when I go out. I ask if I can bring it down. I like, you know, safety is our number one concern. I'm here to spread love. And I've had people that genuinely ask, and then I give a really good comment, and then they comment back saying, "Okay, good to know. I want you to do well." And it's like they weren't there to just like throw a punch at me. They just were kind of like wanting to know. And so
Yeah.
I don't hate on them. I think, hey, it's just people asking questions, and I'm willing to leave every comment up. I don't take comments down. I think you want to see people to see that like it's part of the journey, you know.
For sure, totally. And I think as far as like our team for Brent's residents is that what's called every single one of the kids, as we call them, because we have the residents, is which are moderators, is that they are told from the beginning that I do not want you guys to sugarcoat anything. I want you guys to be real with me, and I want you guys to tell me when I've done something wrong. I don't want you guys to be scared to say something because in fear that I'm gonna outlash someone. And if I take something personally and I get hurt by some sort of thing, that is on me. That is not on you as the kid and so yeah. And you will see later. I will come to my senses and I will thank you for that later. I promise. And
Yeah.
I've been very very fortunate to have an amazing team around me that have been able to support me and tell me when I'm wrong, and it only is going to make me better in the future. Yeah, no, it's definitely a good way to live and be able to be open. And I love what you said. It was at the very beginning of the episode. You're a student to life, and I think and that's the best way to kind of take on things. What is your biggest fear in life?
It's funny. This might sound cliche, but I think my biggest fear in life, at the deepest core, is like I'm not so scared of dying. I'm scared that I didn't live. And I think that's always in the back of my mind, that we're gonna die anyway. So the faster you accept it, the less likely, the less you'll walk through life worried about, you know, dying at some point, because it's just in reality. I think my biggest fear is that I don't live, and that I don't push myself to break out of some of my prisons that I've created, and experience what life is like without it. And I think that's my journey. It's like I want to experience life outside of my trauma, outside of my prisons that I've created. Because at the end of the day, whoever, even if someone's done it and they've wronged you, it's on you to fix it. Like, because it's your life, and if you don't fix it, it's only you that will live for the rest of your life with it. I'm not saying that people go through tough stuff, so it's like at the end of the day, if you don't, no one's going to blame you, but you won't live life. And I think that's where I go, you know what? It sucks when things happen, but I do want to live. I want to end my life going, yeah, I lived it, and that was a great time. So I want to like continue to address the things that are stopping me from living. And so I think that is a fear that I wake up every day with, like, okay, even if I'm scared, even if something's like uncomfortable, I'm going to go for it, because truly, why not, you know?
Which kind of leads me to the next one. What is some 3 items that are in your bucket list?
Definitely going to like I really want to go to the Sahara Desert. I think that's something that's been like deep on my mind, just because it's so opposite from the climate we have here.
Right,
Desert.
totally.
And
Yeah.
like I just think it's something that's, you know, it's so opposite that I would love to like go to the desert, get high, and experience that with like a good friend
Mhm.
and experience what it would be like in that place and time. Would the thoughts be all the same? Just a complete different scenery? Would you like, does your mind just instantly open up to something else? I don't know. That's just been on my, truly
That's-
been on my list.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, there's crazy animals like spiders and stuff. I don't know. Like, I'm sure you're a lot more aware of what could kill you in those settings. You
Yeah.
know?
No kidding. Yeah. The survival settings. Yeah. No
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah.
So that's on there.
That's like a number one. That's a good start. Okay.
Yeah, that's like high on the list. I think another one is I really want a family. That's big on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm a family guy. I think I need to have a kid, a wife, and I want that. No matter, even it might look a little different for me, but it's on my, that's a big one. And then 3, trying to think if there's anything that's like super specific. I really want to swim with sharks. That's another one.
Okay.
That's on the list.
That's a good
I think
one.
I lost. Oh yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you're good. No,
that-
you're good.
that-
That's it.
Okay, yeah. That one's for sure. The swimming with sharks has always been like. It seems so scary
That is, yeah.
to do it, but I think when you do it, you'll feel like, whoa.
It's
I
like
did
kind of like a serene kind of feeling. For sure.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
just did that. You know, like I just swam with sharks. Like it'll always, I think, change you in a way knowing you did that. Yeah, but those are like my 3. So going to the Sahara Desert and getting high. That's definitely I have to be getting high there. That has to be part of it.
For sure. I like
And
that.
then what was the second one I said?
To the family.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a family. And then swimming with sharks. It's a bit of a weird bucket list, but all 3 of those are on there. They're top
That's
of the
good.
list.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great.
What are your 3? Can you give me your 3?
Oh, let's see here. Number 1 would be skydiving, and from the first episode, that was the thing that we talked about is skydiving. It's something I want to do for sure.
You do.
But I need someone to go with me. There's no way in hell I'm doing it alone. I'm way too terrified that I going alone, that I need someone to be there. Like I said, I don't know if I said it in this episode, but I have high anxiety, and that would scare the heck out of me. But I need to do it before I perish. I would love to go to Burning Man, so kind of similar to your Sahara Desert type of thing. Is kind of see the creatives that are in Burning Man. I think that'd be an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
They're on there. I love traveling. So I probably would say going to somewhere like Japan and going to like Disney in like Japan or somewhere in there, like somewhere like crazy and some sort of like an Asian Disneyland type of thing. And do that because I think that would be amazing to fulfill that. Yeah. So that would probably be my main 3 right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't thought about that for a while. I think that's actually changed a little bit since I started this, because I think the couple of them I don't know if it would be on there, but yeah, no, definitely it's I could freaking give my bucket list without great shame. Tara, what's the bucket list? Let us know. Let's hear it. As they are typing that out, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received? It can be musically wise, it can be personal wise. It is totally up to you. And you got it. Okay, no, it's all good.
I can think of yeah. I think my grandma one time, I told her, I was like, "Oh, love's just not working out," and she's like, "Well, that's because you've never been in love." And I just thought that was like such a great way of putting it, where it's like there's a reason it doesn't work out if you don't actually have it. You have the idea of it, but I think when it really comes along, it will work out. And just the way she said it was so certain. Like, it just hasn't been working out. She's like, well, you just haven't found it yet. And I think there was a moment when she said that I probably, because it was from my grandma, that I wrote it down. I was like, I really love that. I love that my grandma gave me something that I can quote, you know?
Right. Yeah. God, that's something. That's someone could have on a tattoo. Damn, that's see, Grandma's got some
Yeah.
spitting some facts out there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. For sure. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. And grandmas are always the best for stuff like that.
They know, right? They have all the answers. They do have the answers. It's not like they think they do. They have them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mama Lisa says Travis needs to join Twitch and Discord. What's called? So Travis does have Discord. He's actually been learning. He's been a great student. Our team has been helping his team kind of learn how to use it a little more, and he might possibly have his own Discord server in the near future. So keep out and look for that. As far as Twitch, that is totally up to him. I don't know if maybe if he likes us so much, maybe he'll come on to Twitch at some point. But also, if you guys ever want to see a live, you go follow Travis !guest. You'll see his TikTok is linked in there. Go follow his TikToks. He does lives very often. What is it? The rooftop concerts are probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen. I think it's a brilliant idea, and you see Vancouver in the background.
Bring those back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of been trying different things, but I think I'm gonna get back to doing those as sort of the main one.
Yeah,
because they are the fun ones. Yeah,
it's amazing how like Vancouver it is, because you can like hear like the SkyTrain in the background, and like it's good vibes. It's great, and sometimes they're at night, and so it's because you can it's all kind of calm, and sometimes it's in the morning. It's a great way to wake up. Yeah, no, it's definitely been exciting to watch kind of your journey and how it goes. We are nearing the end, unfortunately. However, we do have two questions for you, and then we're gonna roll into the raid here.
Okay.
First one is, what is the current trend that makes absolutely no sense to you at all?
Current trend that makes no sense to me at all. I don't know if I have an answer for it, because I feel like maybe my perspective, it kind of goes off what we said before, that like everything has a reason.
Yeah, of
that
course.
I just don't think I can shade on anything, because I feel like it would go against what my answer was.
That's okay. That's all good.
I'd be going against what I said before of like,
Sure.
I kind of like seeing where things play out, that often it's like they start off weird and then it's like TikTok, how it's turned into what it is.
Such a brilliant platform.
So I feel like I just don't think I want to be too quick to. There's things in my head that I'm a little bit unsure of, but I think I'm gonna hold off on.
It's okay. That's no worries at all.
It,
It's all good. Wait, Travis was on your For You page. I recognize the Sing to Everyone in Vancouver video. Yeah, Bradley. It was on a lot of people's For You page. It was on my For You page as well, and that's how I actually met Travis and started talking to him too. So yeah, no, it is crazy. It's crazy how awesome TikTok's For You page is, and how crazy it is. And on Donovan's too. That's so crazy, because you're looking at you got Bradley, who is from Las Vegas. You've got Donovan, who's over in New York. So it's like it's going all over the place, which is just so crazy.
So cool, dude.
And then our final question, and for those of you who have been hanging out for a while and know where this question is going, this is the question we love to ask as the final one before we jump into our raid, and that is, if your life was a movie, what would the title be and why?
Maybe something like it's a great question.
It's all good.
Give me a second.
No worries, it's all good. While we're waiting for Travis to make up his mind, I highly suggest go and join the Discord, !Discord will get you there. As well as you can also visit all the links that we have for Travis on !Guest. That will pop you into you can actually go vote for him on his contest that he's currently in, as well as go see his TikTok for all of his live rooftop concerts too. I
think maybe I'm and then maybe it's just a simple one, but I think it would be something like just go for it, or just something that I don't know, maybe that's it, just go for it. I just feel like that sums up kind of my mindset of most things, is like, why not? So it might be something like fuck it or something. Maybe it truly would just be fuck it. Travis James.
That's not a bad one. That's a good one. I mean, I think the marketing for that would be absolutely atrocious, but I mean, it's still pretty good one.
Yeah,
I like it.
Pretty wild marketing, but clickbait, right?
Exactly.
No, maybe the Canadian Jack Johnson.
Exactly. See, what's you got a couple of names you could choose from here too. I think one that what was the one that popped in my head too? He's you said just go for it. I said maybe just do it and get it sponsored by Nike or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think it would be along those lines of like, just why not, So I like that question. That's a great question. I'm gonna use that on people.
For sure. No worries. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did you ask me who was gonna star in it or what?
I mean, you could, I feel like you're the star in it, but I mean, if there is someone, who would you say would play you?
Who would probably Andy Samberg. I could see him.
Okay. You kind of there's a little bit of a resemblance too. I can see it too. That's funny.
I feel like he's the guy too who would totally take on roles of playing somebody.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so yeah, no.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's good.
He's definitely a great actor, so I'm definitely something I'd be interested in. So as we are about to move into our raid here, we this time. Oh my goodness, sorry, there it is. Okay, good. Because I wanted to blare in everyone's speakers here. I'm going to let you kind of take the floor for a few moments here and shout out anything that you would like. The floor is yours. If you'd like to shout out anything, it's totally up to you. The floor is yours now.
Yeah, well, shout out to you and your team for doing an awesome job. And if you are following this journey, Brennan, or you've just joined in, you should definitely keep watching because I've had a great time, and it's always good, I think, to hear from the guest. It's good for the guest to tell the audience that it's an enjoyable thing, and I think you guys are part of a really cool community. So just want to make sure you guys know from my end, I feel honored to be here, and I can feel that it's a great place to be. So you guys should keep coming back because I would, and I probably will be.
Sure.
And and then I would say, if you guys have already voted, that's huge for my contest I'm in. I appreciate it, and the links are there. Stay tuned for new music. That's the big thing. Is I got new music coming out this summer. I got a couple songs, and I think that's really the end goal is just to get as much music out there as possible. I kind of want to be known for that more than anything. It's just the music I make. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys are interested in, if you ever want to do book a live show or a Zoom show, I do a lot of that stuff as well. And if anyone's ever interested, then let me know, because that's what I've been doing.
we got love going flying over the chat here. We got from Tara, Mama Lisa, Bardley, Donovan, Breadcrumbs. Thank you.
Does this mean we have to do something or no?
No, this is just them sending us love.
Okay.
maybe we should put something into that. We're gonna have to do a lot of loving things. No, it's all good. That's why we put it there, so they can spam the love, and we appreciate it big time. Yes, send that love to Travis and his journey and how exciting it's been. And how exciting it will be in the near future too. You're destined for big things. That's why I kind of want to get to meet you now. So that I can kind of follow you in your journey and say, hey, I know this guy. He's killing it, and he's one of the most genuine people that I've ever kind of met, and
cool,
very
dude.
sincere and
I hope I hope we can do this more.
Sure.
I think that's another big part of my journey is finding people that I really connect with. To do these things, because you want to be able to tell your story with people that know you. So I think I'm not trying to just get on as many things as possible. I'm trying to find the right people. And I think that's what this part of the journey for me is finding the people that are going to be part of your team, so I just think I'm so honored to be on here, and I'd love to continue this relationship.
For sure. We're always very, very happy to have you here and and talk with you. And if you have any questions about anything, of course, we're happy to help. We're playing Rocket League later, apparently. So or at some point, maybe not later today, but at some point in the near future, hopefully.
Dude, you can hold me to it. It's gonna happen.
Sounds good. I'll send you a message very soon here about that as well.
Okay.
I look very, very forward to it. We are going to raid one of our kind of newer friends. It's definitely off of what we don't usually play, but we're gonna go say hi. What's up? It was I actually recently reconnected with a old friend of mine from high school,
Mhm.
and he recommended this guy to me, Seth. We're gonna go and raid Seth. Again, I want to say thank you to you, Travis, for giving us the time to kind of hang out. And I too hope that this isn't the last time we see you and we hang out, and whether it be on here, whether it be in the Discord, or maybe hopefully in the near future when COVID dies down in real life, where we can hang out and
Yeah,
actually shoot the shit, maybe
definitely.
grab a beer or something like that, and hang out. Maybe
Yeah.
go to Canucks game. I saw that thing. I actually have season tickets, so I'd
Oh
love to take you
shit!
one day.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
So it's
I'm
called
in.
right. So it's called. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later here. But
Okay.
thank you. Go say hi to Seth for me. Thank you all for coming and hang out. If you guys haven't already, ! Discord. We'll get you in the Discord. Come hang out. We'd love to have you. Bartley and the rest of the kids and Tara and Donovan have all worked very hard to serve those drinks up in the Discord. We'd love for you to go grab them. Thank you, and go
Yeah.
say hi to Seth for me. And for the rest of you, have a nice day. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for everything. This was awesome.
Bye-bye.
See ya.